Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the evil that men do. Father God, I pray and ask that you help me to have mercy on others the same way I would want you to have mercy on me. Father God, I also ask that you help me to be quick to forgive and slow to get angry. Amen, amen, amen. These young dudes out here don't respect shit until you put the barrel in their ear and let the text spit. I just might catch a case on my next hit, remove their whole face on some special effect shit. So show respect, trick, or I'ma have a flashback. Digging through the dresser like fuck it, where my mask at? The mash back with the banger and damage shit and say fuck everything I learned in anger management. Hop back on some east side managed shit and push a nigga's top back when I let the cannon spit. Start planning shit, premeditation. I'm in love with the streets and rededication. Casket or cremation when I shoot you down. I was built for the smoke like a hookah lounge. I keep big shit that sound like a bazooka sound. And I shoot quicker than ain't gotta be a hoop around. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps. A ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with the 3 straps. A ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Gun on me, it ain't never for show. Homie, I'm far from a bully, but I'm never a hoe. Get out of line, my Beretta will blow. Real talk, we can take the beef wherever we go. I bring it to your front door like I'm Uber Eats. I guarantee you listen up when this Ruger speaks. Plus I maneuver through these streets like a ghost, and I'm handy with the heat. I cook a nigga like a roast. On me, homie, this is not a boast. I will still come through, boy, and stop a nigga's post. Play him close, man, Eric will ease it. Quickly off the waistband, man, and Eric will squeeze it. Leave you niggas laid out dead or paraplegic. Niggas playing in these streets while I'm very strategic. I come to your house dressed like the gas man. Shoot you 9 times, leave you stretched by the trash can. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps. A ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps. A ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. I don't put shit on Facebook, I just holler in person. Put the pistol in your mouth while you're hollering in cursing. All that shit you kept rehearsing and put on your live. Got your clap with the big 4-5. You bitch nigga, if you tell me to pull up, I'ma do that. That nigga who was whooping first nigga that I shoot at. Ski mask on my face, bystanders be like, who that? I ain't with the talking, bitch boy, I thought you knew that. Leave his brains where my shoe at and bounce like I'm on a trampoline. Leave you laid out, nigga, like you camping on the scene. If you want something sweet, grab a peach or tangerine. Niggas won't smoke, but fuck it, I'ma let them handle steam. AR with the beam, you see the red dot? We tug on this trigger, nigga, it'll make your head pop. Blood pouring down to your shoes, call it Red Sox. Your brains hanging all over your shoulders like some dreadlocks. Expect the gang of dead off if they ever cross the line. The Lord said in the Bible, oh, revenge is mine. So I'm just trying to find a righteous path between the two. Before I lose control and do the shit I used to do. This being humble shit is new. I'm trying to turn the other cheek, but I ain't never been a bitch, so watch your mouth when you speak. Your mercy's what I seek, so I pray on bended knees. Don't let me get the K with the extended clip and squeeze. Lord, please. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps. A ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps. A ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps.
All right, y'all. Good Tuesday afternoon. Good Tuesday afternoon to you. I had to bump the time up. Sorry about that, y'all. Supposed to go at 4 my time, but y'all know what today is. Today is Valentine's Day, man. It's Valentine's Day. But it's also my granddaughter's birthday, man. So my wife said, hey, you got to come home and sing happy birthday to this girl. I said, y'all can't do it without me? No. So we're gonna power through until we get to that point. What's going on, y'all, man? Happy Tuesday afternoon. Let's get the business out of the way. Shout out to Brother Eric, man. Thank you, Brother Eric, for coming through, man, dropping this song on us called Relapse, man. Anybody can relapse, man. Anybody can relapse. So we always got to remember that, man. So that's why I love this song, man, because always keep yourself in, man. You got to stay humble, because if you start thinking you more than you are, what they say, pride goes before and something, and then pride goes before a fall, right? I forgot the scripture's not coming to me right away, but I'll remember it in a minute, right? And a heart, no, pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit, not hardy, haughty, a haughty spirit before a fall, right? You want it, you think you want it too much, right? You think you want it too much, and you think too much of yourself, and then next thing you know, wow, right? Man, I'm still going through it, y'all. I got this halls in my mouth to keep my throat from coughing all the time. But we good, we good, we good. Fresh air, God's love, man. Keep you going a long time, man. Keep you going a long time. Anyway, it's Tuesday, y'all. It's Tuesday. It's Happy Tuesday, man. Oh, Clarence, you don't know, man. They trying to repossess my car. I know. Been there, done that, brother. I know. They trying to do this. They trying to do that. Okay, just give us a few hours, brother. Let us distract you for a few hours, and then maybe man, something one of us might say might snap you into being able to do something, to help your situation improve even faster, right? God willing. God willing. All right, but this is Brother Eric. Brother Eric donate this song "Relapse" to our community, man. Shout out to Brother Eric. You can go into his web page, his YouTube page, 16 to Life. Man, he got a lot of stuff over there. Merch, songs that he wrote, uh, animation. It's a lot of different things, man. The dude's a funny cat, man. Funny little videos, man. Funny dude, man. Funny dude, man, but solid. Very, very solid cat, man. Very solid cat. But shout out to Brother Eric. Going over to 16 to Life and check him out. Did 24 years out here in California penal system. You know what I'm saying? So, he ain't no Brother Eric ain't no pushover, man. So but he is a good dude, man. Very good dude. Very good dude. Go check him out. Shout out to Brother Eric, man. All right, that is Brother Eric, y'all. That is Brother Eric. First of all, before we get into why we here, let's see who's in the building, y'all. Let's see who's in the building. Who we got in the building, y'all? Who we got in the building today? Let's see. We got Sister Annie in the house, of course. Shout out to Sister Annie. Glad to have you in the building, sis. Oh man, our resident greeter. She's the one at the door. Man, remember when you go to church when you were little, it had them ladies at the door that would had them nice white gloves on, telling you come on in. You got Sister Eddie in the house. Then you got Risa. There you go. We got Risa Neal, right? So you had the nice ladies at the front, and then you had them ladies up there on the motherboard, man. The motherboard didn't take no mess from nobody, right? Motherboard will come and cover your legs up in a heartbeat, right? Cover your breasts up in a heartbeat, right? They throw a shawl on you in a heartbeat, right? Shout out to the motherboard, man. Shout out to the motherboard. But Risa Neal, man, she got that 45. She got that Glock waiting on you, man, for you to make that one wrong move. And you got to have that sniper, man. You got to have that enforcer in the building, man. The people know. Well, I play games over there. Let's talk about Black Life, man. They got Risa Neal standing on the door right behind Reese. You got Annie right there, right? Annie is, yeah, come on in. But then you got Risa like, no, I'm right behind her. What you want? What you want? You here to play games? Get the hell up out of here, right? Shout out to Risa Neal. Shout out to Sister Annie. What about Von Bryant, man? Von Bryant. Holy smokes, Von Bryant. I'm telling y'all, You ever need to raise some money, man, this is the guy you want on your side, man. This is the guy you want on your team, man. Von Bryant, man. Ron Bryant does not see that it can't be done, man. His eyes don't see that, right? His eyes only see it might take a while, but we gonna do it, right? Shout out to Von Bryant, man. Oh man, Von's in the house. Who else in the house? I already got something. They got Reese. Let's see who else. OG Patrice is in the building. OG Patrice is in the building. I sent Patrice. I sent Patrice a text today, right? Of her good friend Nathan Daly, right? I was like, hey, Patrice, he's out here going against this other content creator. Patrice, like, I already know. I'm like, damn, I should have known she already knew. I should have known she already knew what was going on with that situation, right? Shout out to Patrice, man. She be on top of things, man. Oh, thank you, Patrice. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. And thank you as well, man. You know, and I also want to thank Charles Keys, man. Charles Keys out the blue, man, just threw me a cash app, man. You guys know I don't really ask for cash apps. I don't really ask for anything unless we doing something. You know what I'm saying? Unless I could tell you what I'm gonna do with the money. I really don't ask for no money, right? But Charles Keys, man, out the blue, man, just threw us a cash app. Shout out to Charles Keys, man, as well as OG Patrice, as well as OG Patrice, as well as OG Patrice, man. So shout out to them, man. Appreciate you, both of you guys for that, man. You know, man, that's one thing I like about over here, man. It's got good people, man. Got good people. Not perfect, but good, right? We got Scam Likely in the building. Shout out Scam, man. We're gonna be going over some of the stuff we was talking about last time, man. So if you want to come on up here, man, just let me know. I'll bring you up, man. Bring you up. But I think that's everybody that's in the building that wants to be acknowledged. Of course, we probably got some people in the bushes as usual. That's okay, no problem. You know, all y'all gotta do is just catch me when I lie. That's all right. Sister Annie, thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you, sister. Appreciate you. Appreciate. I know all of y'all wish my grandbaby happy birthday. I appreciate it. She's 5 years old today. Happy. Thank y'all, man. I might could sneak a picture of her, but her mother, man, her mother is something else, man. She's something else to deal with, right? But hey, man, God bless her, man. Hopefully God will get her life together, man. She's just blowing in the wind right now. Let's see. Sister said, getting my tissue right to take their gum. That's what the motherboard used to do too, right? They take your gum, right? Just put it in here, baby. And you'd be like, dang, man, the motherboard, dang, man. Hey, until it's time to eat that, until they got that meal ready for everybody downstairs, right? They take everybody downstairs. They got them tables set up. They got that punch. They got that good fried chicken. I mean, good fried chicken, right? They got everything set up. Then you like, I love the motherboard. I love them. Oh, the motherboard wasn't no joke, man. The motherboard wasn't no joke, man. They escort you out of the church in a heartbeat, man. If your skirt was really that low, they just going to hey, come on with us. We got something for you. We'll find something for you. Shout out to the motherboards all over the country, all over the world, man. Shout out to the motherboards, man. All right. Thank you, Reese. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, man. Okay, let's get to the business, y'all. Let's get to the business. I was sent something from Brother Nugrowth, man. Brother Nugrowth was like, man, I don't understand some things that you're talking about, Brother Clarence. So I want to go to the mail he sent me, right? That's not what I want. Okay, let's go back here. Brother. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh no, that's just any. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Let's see. All right. Let me do this so I can see what we're talking about. Vaughn said, love them mothers. They ruthless, man. Hey man, they ruthless, right? They're like Risa, man. Pop! They're gonna get you. But then you're gonna be like, oh man, it was all in love, right? Oh man. Shout out to Dale Long, man. Shout out to Dale Long. Take care of yourself out there in the streets, young brother. I see there's a lot going on out there, man. Take care of yourself out there in the streets. Them streets, man. Let's see. Yeah, man, that was a situation too. Let's see. Okay, let me get into Nugrowth's question, right? Let's see. I am, Sister Annie, I am. I'm snitching in love because maybe some other people have the same question, right? But Blackheart Nugrowth said, great show, just a few pushbacks. You said we squandered our language and culture when we came here on slave boats. The definition of squander is waste in a reckless and foolish manner. Doesn't add up. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so when I was talking about that, I was trying to line it up with a parable that was in the Bible, Luke 15, and I was trying to line that up with our experience being a lost sheep, right? We were the lost sheep. We're the lost sheep. You know what I mean? Nobody knew. We got a question in the supreme wisdom. Why didn't our people come and get us? And the answer is because they did not know where we were. They didn't know where we were, right? How can somebody come and get you? If remember they had that girl, Samantha Smart or whatever, and she was just like she wasn't even a mile away from her house, right? Gone 8-9 years, right? Had been a prisoner in a house not even a mile away from her house, right? But how could they come and rescue her? They don't know where she was, right? How could our people come and rescue us? They did not know where we were. They just found out where we were, right? And they think we're in a good position. They don't understand the situation right now, right? But anyway, let's get to the squandered. Let's get to the squandered. And I said we squandered our language. Our language was squandered, right? But it wasn't squandered on. It wasn't our uh, our desire to squander it. We had to squander it to survive. It was brutally beaten out of us. And the only way that we had to survive was to undertake the understanding of the trader who came and got us, right? So that to me is where the squandering came in, right? Now he said it doesn't add up. To draw parables with the prodigal son and the forced enslavement, in my opinion, is dangerous and unfair. Okay. Maybe one show we can break it all down. Maybe I'm missing something. Okay, got you. Peace and love. I hear you, Nugrowth. So I'm gonna do it real quick. I'm gonna do it real quick, man, and then we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to these. Thank you, Daryl. Appreciate you. I'm gonna do it real quick. Where's my Luke? Where's my Luke? Where's my Luke? Y'all, where's my Luke? Got to have Luke in here somewheres. Let's see. Oh, here it is right here. This is Luke. But I don't want to give y'all the new international version. I'm going to give you the King James version because that's what black people read. The King James version. I know about you Negroes. All right. So I'm going to read it again because Brother Nugrowth had an issue. So I'm going to read it again. It's Luke 15. Then drew near unto him all the publicans and sinners to hear him. And the Pharisees, the publicans and sinners, right? these are the people ain't doing too good, right? What do they call it? What do they call them? What would we call them in America? The publicans and sinners. Saying what do they call it? Low wage earners. Low wage earners, right? And people getting public assistance, right? And to hear him. And the Pharisees and the scribes, these are the rich people, right? These are the people that's movers and shakers in the society, right? They murmured, saying, "This man receiveth sinners and eateth with them." Whoa. How can you eat with sinners, man? Come on, all of us, y'all are all eating with sinners every day, right? But they said, this man, hey, this man is supposed to be. They was always trying to find ways to discredit the Jesus, right? So they said, so this is one way they thought they could discredit him by saying, hey, if he was really a man of God, why would he be sitting and eating with sinners? If God don't like sinners, why is he sitting and eating with them? Right? He should be shunning them, right? They don't. They didn't get it. And Jesus spake this parable unto them, saying, "What man of you, having 100 sheep, if he lose one of them, doth not leave the 99 in the wilderness and go after that sheep, that which is lost, until he find it? And when he hath found it, he layeth it on his shoulders, rejoicing. And when he cometh home, he calleth together his friends and neighbors, saying unto them, Rejoice for me, for I have found my sheep which was lost. I say unto you that likewise joy shall be given in heaven. Joy shall be in heaven over one sinner, over one sinner that repenteth, more than over 90 and 9 just persons which need no repentance." Think that one over, y'all. Think that one over. Nugrowth, where you at, man? Think that one over. He said, either what woman having 10 pieces of silver, if she lose one piece, doth not light a candle and sweep the house and seek diligently till she find it? And when she hath found it, she calleth her friends and her neighbors, saying, Rejoice with me, for I have found that piece, that which I had lost. Likewise, I say unto you, there is joy in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner that repenteth. Hmm. Huh. And he said, a certain man had 2 sons. Now who's the he? This is Jesus. He giving them another parable. He said, a certain man had 2 sons. And the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me. And he divided unto them his living. And not many days after, the younger son, gathered all together and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living. Hello, is this thing on? It sounds like that sounds like somebody we know, right? Let me read that again. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living. How you living? How you living? Huh? How you living? Maybe you living a little riotous right now, right? And it's so riotous you don't even remember your name. You don't remember your language. You don't remember your culture, right? We fighting over who had the right religion. We fighting over who had the right culture, who's the real this and who's the real that, right? And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in that land, and he began to want. Where's the famine? Where's the famine? You in the land? What's the famine? The famine is God's understanding and wisdom. That's the famine you want. You in. You in the famine. You can listen to somebody and they sound like they good, but they not good, right? You're in a famine of understanding, not a famine of food. You're in a famine of understanding. Oh man, y'all don't, y'all, y'all hear me? Y'all hear me? He had spent all. There arose a mighty famine, not just a famine, a mighty famine in that land, and he began to be in want. Right now, he don't know what he's doing. Right, you begin to need, but hey, in our land, we had a culture. Everybody helps everybody. In this land, nobody helps nobody. Right? You begin to be in want because ain't nobody gonna help you. It's America. Pull yourself up off your bootstraps. Right? Pull yourself up. You're in the Victim Olympics. Right? And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country. I'm gonna say that again. He went and joined himself on to a citizen of that country. Now you ain't got no choice. You got to do it, right? You are a slave. You ain't got no choice. Got to join on, or you dead. That's your choice. That's your options. It's called the Sophie's Choice. That's called the Sophie's Choice. You guys go see that movie, Sophie's Choice. Sophie's Choice, right? Lady is the Jewish lady is right there where the train is taking off. She got 2 children. German soldiers tell her, you can leave one and you're going to take the other one. But you got to take the other one. You can leave one. Now, this lady got a split second to decide which one of her children would have the best chance of surviving if she left it there with a German soldier. Think about that for just a minute. You had to decide, well, maybe I won't make it, but my offspring might make it. A generation down the line might make it. Right? Tough choice. Tough choice. And he went and joined himself onto a citizen of that country, and he sent him into the fields to feed swine. Remember? Reese, you out there in Alabama, right? I think it's Alabama out there, right? You know how to feed hogs. They call it slopping the hogs, right? Why? Because you feed them all kind of miserable type of food, right? Rotten food, old food, food that people have eaten off of. Pigs are basically garbage disposals, right? But he's sent out there to feed these animals. So filthy animals, the pigs, right? And they have no conscience, right? When you feed them, you have to separate them. Can't feed the adults with the children, with the juveniles, right? Why? Because the adults will step all over the juveniles to get to the trough. They will step on them and kill them, not intentionally, but they just so out of order that's how they'll do. And then when they find one of their own babies that's dead, they'll eat it. It's the kind of animal we dealing with on there here, right? But this young man he had to feed these type of animals, right? Holy smokes! And feign he would fain have filled his belly with the husk that the swine did eat, and no man gave him. In other words, he would have eaten what these pigs was eating, but he couldn't even eat that. and no man gave unto him. Why? Because the people say, hey man, I ain't giving nothing to you. You so far down on your luck. It's like being down here on the Skid Row, right? People just walk on by, drive on by. Most of those people, right? Or even people that's in your community that's down, right? No man gave unto him. All right. uh, and when he came to himself, this is critical, right? Vaughn was talking about this the other day. When he, the prodigal son, came to himself, meaning that once he accepted his situation and the reality of what he was involved with finally hit him, he said to himself, how many hired servants of my father's have bread enough to spare, and I perish with hunger? He said, my father's servants have more than enough food, and here I am trying to eat what these pigs eat. I will arise and go to my father. It's him talking to himself. He's sitting there around them pigs in the mud saying, I will arise and go to my father and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee. Right? He threw away. Father tried to teach him, right? He said, no, 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 give me my cut of the loot now. I'm gonna do my thing. Right? But he realized now, man, he was a fool, right? And am no more worthy to be called thy son, right? Make me as one of the highest. Hey, I don't want to be the son no more. I know I don't deserve that. I don't deserve that position anymore. Just let me be a servant. It's better than being out here. Excuse me. It's better than being out here slopping these hogs, right? And he arose. He, the prodigal son, he arose. He got up out of the mud and came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. Right? Father didn't care where he been. He's just glad he's back. Right? That's another lesson. I'm not even going to touch that one right now. That's a whole nother lesson right there. And the son said unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in thy sight. I am no more worthy to be called thy son. He said, I know I'm not. He said, I know I've been tricking. I've been out here tricking, right? And I put the family name in the gutter. Out here tricking. He said, he's trying to plead to his father. But the father said unto the servants, bring forth the best robe and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet. Why? His father was like Jesse Jackson. You are somebody. You are somebody. I know you've been through it, but you are somebody, right? So he said, put the ring on this. Bring the best robe, not a robe, the best robe, and put shoes on his feet, right? This dude must have been looking toe up, right? Look like Mandingo, toe up, right? And bring hither the fatted calf, kill it, and let us eat and be merry. He said, let's eat and be happy, right? Don't worry, be happy, right? For this, my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. And they began to be merry, right? The father don't even care where he been. He don't even care where he's been. This man been in whole houses and all, who knows what he been doing, right? But he's back. That's all the father concerned about. He's back and he's sincere. He's back and he's sincere. Now his eldest son was in the field. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's your brother in Africa. Oh. And he came to Drew nigh. He came and drew nigh to the house. He heard music and dancing. And he called out to one of the servants, hey, asked the servants what these things mean. Hey, what's going on over there? They partying? What are they partying for? And the servant said unto him, thy brother is come. Thy father hath killed the fatted calf, because he hath received him safe and sound. And he, the older brother, was angry and would not go in. Therefore came his father out and entreated him. And he answering said to his father, lo, these many years do I serve thee, neither transgressed I at any time thy commandment. And yet thou never gavest me a kid, a baby goat, that I might make merry with my friends. But as soon as thy son was come, which hath devoured thy living with harlots. Holy smoke. So everybody knew what time it was, right? He devoured it, everything with harlots. He been out there tricking. Thou hast killed for him the fatted calf. And he said unto him, the father said unto him, son, thou art ever with me, and all that I have is thine. It was meet that we should make merry and be glad, for this thy brother was dead and is alive again, and was lost and is found. Okay, Nugrowth. There it is. There it is. Right? So I'm not saying we squandered everything on purpose. It was just what we had to do. Thank you, Sister Eddie. I'm just saying this is something we had to do to survive. We had to be in survival mode, right? When you were a slave, you don't have no options of what you're gonna do. The only option is every second, death is around the corner. Every death is at every turn, right? You either submit or die, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes, if that's the only choice if that's the only choice in your chest, what can you do? Either submit or die. When you're a slave, you can't be righteous and be a slave. You're gonna be asked to do some things that's very unrighteous, right? Hey, Big Ben, come on over here. Here's your mother. We need you to have sex with your mother so we can get some more. I mean, you're gonna be asked to do some things that's not righteous. You don't have an option. You gotta have to be unrighteous to save your mother and to save your daughter. You have to calm your daughter down and say, hey, daughter, we have to do this. Right? We have to do this so that we can survive. We can make it in one more day. Because all you're doing is surviving. We didn't do this stuff in Africa. We didn't. You don't sleep with your daughter. You don't sleep with your uh, mother. We didn't do this stuff. This stuff was introduced to us when we got here. Maybe the Egyptians were doing stuff like that because they had more contact with the Europeans. But we wasn't doing stuff that those of us that came from the coast, we wasn't doing this kind of stuff. We had no contact with them until they came trading. They came and brought stuff to trade with. Just saying. Just saying. So we squandered. Yeah, we squandered. We had to squander. It's either squander or die. You see, black men that stood up for themselves at that time, they had a special thing where they show gather all the other Negroes around and show them torturing that man. Sister Sophia said Egyptians definitely did it. Yeah, Egyptians and the Ethiopians have more contact with the Caucasians, so I'm I'm uh, I'm sure they probably were, doing some of those things first. Shout out to you, Sister Sophia. Glad to have you in the building, sis. Glad to have you in the building. So then he said, we get Bible study. I don't know Bible study. Because Bolo probably should be the one, or Vaughn up here. I just try to read it to y'all so we can see the principles in it. Because we got a lot of people that don't understand that Bible has a lot of principles. It has a lot of spiritual information, but has a lot of just plain principles of how to live in a good life, right? So we gotta be the kind of people, man, that uh we can recognize help from any direction. You can't cut off somebody because they're of this religion or they're of that religion or if they're of this sector, they're that, they're this or that. No, you can't cut them off. You know, even if you disagree with them, you can say, well, they got some. All right, so that's New Growth. I tried to answer his question. If he wants to come back, New Growth, if you want to come back later, and if you're out there, you want to come up and you want to answer this question, or if anybody has a question about what I just read or anything like that, please let me know. Put a one in the chat or whatever, or tell me you want to come up. I will put the link out there. But if not, I'm going to move forward. Forward. I will move forward. Let's see. Wait for my I'm gonna wait for my oh man. I was my computer was doing something funny, man. I'm like, what the heck? Shout out to Big Rick Slaps. Heading with you, mate. Shout out to the Bay. Let's see. All right, y'all, let's move on. Let's move on. If nobody got a question about that, let us move it on this. Huh? Okay, so let's well, one of the things I want to ask a question about before I do that, before I get to this, y'all notice that black entertainers usually die broke most of the time? At the end of their careers, they really die broke, right? You're like, what the heck is going on? Oh, shout out to Marcus, by the way. I didn't even shout out Marcus. Shout out to Marcus. Uh, what is going on with our entertainers, man? Well, I'm gonna take a look. We're gonna take a look at it today, man. We're gonna say, why is it so easy for our entertainers to die broke? All right, so the first one I want to look at is let me see who the first one I want to look at. Okay, let's do TLC. Let's do TLC. Right? Let's do TLC. All right. Okay, so a TLC was a group in the 90s, right? Early 2000s. They sold 10 million records and they was broke. What happened? What happened? Let's find out. See, because a lot of us are doing the same thing over a longer period of time. Regular people, my people, huddle up, huddle up. You are going to have to retire at some point. You got to make a move on what you're doing for your retirement. There's going to be one thing I have to agree with Kevin Samuels. It's going to be a certain point, right, where you're not going to be able to be in the workforce, right? You're going to have to plan for that with hedging, with having some type of either income or savings that is going to offset the cost of living that you're going to have to experience, and you're not going to be having a regular job, right? Scam said most people live and die broke. It's not just black people. I know, but I mean, we feel it the hardest, though, Scam. I'm not saying anything I say, when I talk about black people, bro, I'm not saying that black people are the only people that experience this stuff. What I'm saying is black people are the ones that feel it the hardest and feel it the most, in my opinion. And most of the time, it's just a lack of knowledge. Most of the time, sometimes it's just being hard headed, stiff necked, and rebellious. But other time, most of the time, it's just a lack of knowledge. They just don't understand how this stuff works, right? Right. Now, that's the one thing I agree with Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels did do what most people should do, and that's look at their life and say, okay, if I stop working at this age, how much money? And let's estimate I'm going to live to 90. Let's say I stop at 64 or 62 years old, and I'm going to live to 90, right? That's 28 years. I need income for them 28 years. I need money to deal with my lifestyle for those 28 years. How am I going to do that? Well, most people have retirement accounts, savings accounts, stuff like that. Not most people, some people. A lot of our people don't even have that. They just live day to day, right? But sometimes you might get to a point where you can't work no more. Then what? Then what? Anyway, let's get into TLC and see what happened with them.
Trust me, you can sell 10 million now and be broke if you have greedy people behind you. All right. This is how a group can sell 10 million records and be broke. And everyone, get ready to do your math. When we first started out, we were kind of cocky. Okay, there are 100 points on the album. TLC had 7. Every point is equal to 8 cents. All right? 7 times 8, 56 cents. But as time went on, we learned a lot. That means every time an album gets sold, TLC gets 56 cents. So 10 million records, $5.6 million. Seems like a lot of money. Well, it's not a lot of money when the record company has spent $3 million to record your album. And in the record business, we pay all costs back to the record company. We pay recording costs, video costs. So now we have $2.6 million left. Well, guess what? When you have that much money, you're in about the 47, 48, 49% tax bracket. So that immediately gets deducted to $1.3 million. Then you split the rest 3 ways. You got about $300,000 a piece, if that much. Okay? $300,000. I can buy a nice house with that. And what am I going to pay my bills with?
Man, Left Eye was fine as hell, nigga. When I was younger, bro, it was chilly for me. Like, dog, I loved.
Okay, y'all. Y'all see the thing? They got destroyed, right? But why? Here's the question: why? How did they get destroyed? How did they get to the point where everybody was pulling them apart? How did they get to the point where everybody was pulling them apart? Number one, here's the number one thing that a lot of us don't understand. When you get into a business, you need to learn as much as you can about that business before you get into that business. Because most businesses, they're gonna show you the glamour side of it. You're not gonna see the soft underbelly that's gonna be ugly, right? They're not gonna show you, oh man, they're gonna tell you, oh, you can make millions of dollars selling records, right? They're not gonna tell you the accountant's gonna take some, your publisher's gonna take some, the record company gonna take some, the producer's gonna take some, the label's gonna take some, your lawyer's gonna take some, everybody's gonna take some. By the time you turn around, you're only making 20% of what you actually earned, right? By the way, you got to pay tax, like Patrice said, you got to pay taxes on that, right? And because you earn so much, you put yourself in a tax bracket that they're going to tax you at a higher level. Since Sophia said, I've been friends with folks I assume was rich, and I'm going to tell you, I've slid money to them with nobody knowing. Yeah. It looks like they rolling, huh, Sophia? But when it get down to it, man, they live in paycheck to paycheck like everybody else, right? I forgot about him, right? What about MC Hammer? You're right, Vaughn. What about MC Hammer? MC Hammer. He tried to be, I mean, you can't take everybody, you can't take a whole hood with you. They're gonna break you, right? Everybody's gonna break you, right? We got so many people, man, that have been through so many different things. But one of the major reasons why we get done the way we get done, because we never really learned the concept of money and what it's really able to be used to do. Right? We see money as to get what we want, to buy what we want. That is only one use of money. Other use of money is to make more money. That's basically the best use of money, is taking money to make more money, right? But if we don't think like that, we think like, hey, the money's going to always come in. It's always going to be, you know what I mean? Like the 5 Heartbeats. Instead of paying them, they just gave them all Cadillacs, right? They just gave them Cadillacs. And then, the checks that they got was, they had been burning them for a while, right? All right, let's look at somebody else, y'all. Let's look at somebody else. Because it's not all the same thing. But it is the same thing, but it ain't the same thing. And I'll put the link out in about a half an hour. Okay, it is, who else? Who else? Here's another one. Here's another one. Here is another one. Here's another one. Okay? All right. Sammy Davis Jr. Sammy Davis Jr., man, I'm telling you, man, this dude has so much money. I mean, you think about, you got a residency in Las Vegas where they paying you 4 nights a week to put on shows 4 nights a week. Guy's probably making in the 50s, what, $40,000-$50,000 a week? That's probably like $800,000 a week in today's money, right? But what happened, man? He tricked it all off. Most of it, right? But why? Why? See, this is the thing. Why? Nobody else, there's no reports of nobody else from the Rat Pack died broke except for him, right? Okay, let's take a look. Let's listen.
6'6" and 120 pounds, the most physically imposing figure in the entertainment industry. But throughout his 6-decade-spanning career, he left a huge impression on the world of entertainment. He overcame racism
Shout out
to
to
establish
Blocka
himself as a legend. He became a successful comedian, dancer, actor, and singer. And as a part of the notorious Rat Pack, alongside Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, he became world famous for starring in films like Sergeants 3 and Ocean's 11. Keep watching to learn about how Sammy Davis Jr. died flat out broke with a glass eyeball. The accident that cost him his eye. On November 19, 1954, Sammy Davis Jr. was nearly killed in a horrific automobile accident in San Bernardino, California. At the time of the crash, he was making his way back from Las Vegas to Los Angeles. A year prior, Sammy had struck up a friendship with Jewish entertainer Eddie Cantor, who had gifted him a mezuzah. Instead of hanging it by his door, as is the tradition, Davis wore it around his neck like a necklace for good luck. The only occasion he forgot to wear it was the night of his accident. The wreck occurred at a junction point along U.S. Route 66 when a driver, who missed their exit, backed up her vehicle in Davis's lane. Sammy was unable to slow down quickly enough to avoid hitting the car and subsequently lost his left eye when his face hit the bullet-shaped horn button of his Cadillac. Sammy's close friend, fellow actor Jeff Chandler, was quoted as saying he would gladly give Davis one of his own eyes if he could keep him from going blind. Fortunately, Davis recovered from his injuries despite...
All right. So y'all know about Sammy Davis Jr. He was in the Rat Pack, and yeah, man, it's bad, Sophia. It's bad. And unfortunately, he died. I wouldn't say he died broke, but he definitely died. Not having close to the money that came through his fingers. Not close. Not even a little bit. But I'm gonna move it up, man, because we gotta talk. We gotta get okay, we're gonna get to it. Okay, here we go.
Sammy's tragic marriages to Kim Novak and Lorraine White. In 1957, Sammy began dating white actress Kim Novak. By most accounts, Davis was deeply in love with her, and she apparently shared those sentiments. It was the first time he loved someone enough to marry them. After the rumor started going around that Davis planned on marrying Novak, racist white people who opposed interracial marriage were incensed. One particularly racist individual who took issue with Sammy marrying Kim was Novak's boss, Harry Cohn. Harry was the head of Columbia Pictures, the studio that Novak was under contract with. He thought Novak's marriage to a black man would hurt the studio's profits. It didn't seem to matter that Davis was incredibly famous, respected, and loved by many. Cohn ended up hiring the mob to threaten Sammy. Reportedly, the mobsters claimed that they would blind him in his remaining good eye and break his legs if he didn't marry a black woman in the 48 hours. Davis was understandably spooked by these threats and subsequently gave in to his harassers' demands. To protect himself from the violence, Davis married a black dancer named Larae White. Everyone around him knew the marriage was a sham, and the only reason he had agreed to go through with it was because of the threats. Sammy agreed to pay White off with a large lump sum under the condition that their marriage would be dissolved within the year. But even though they went through with a traditional wedding, it's known that he drank too much at the reception. It's also said that he attempted to strangle White en route to their wedding suite.
Okay. I don't know what's going on with my StreamYard. All right. So anyway, yeah, he had to marry this chick because the mob was going to take his other eye out. They said we're going to take your other eye out, right? Studio executive hired the mob to say, hey, man, we're going to take your other eye out if you don't marry somebody black. There it is. There it is, right? But anyway, this ain't the end of it, man. I mean, unfortunately, man, for Sammy Davis, man, all this money just flew right through his fingers. I mean, and we got so many different stars. Oh, you hear this story, man, about Sammy Davis, Vaughn? Oh man, it's an ugly situation. Let me play the rest of it, man. It's a really ugly situation.
That evening, he was found holding a gun to his head, threatening to take his life. Sammy and Larae's marriage was understandably short-lived, and they were no longer married by 1959. This was clearly one of the low points of his life. He died of throat cancer. In August of 1989, Davis developed a disconcerting tickle in the back of his throat and lost the ability to taste food. His doctors quickly discovered he had a cancerous tumor in his throat. He'd been a heavy smoker for the majority of his adult life. Reportedly, he smoked 4 packs of cigarettes a day. When he was informed that laryngectomy surgery provided him with the best chance of survival, he told his doctors he would rather hold on to his voice and face the cancer head-on rather than have part of his throat removed. So instead of immediately going under the knife, he opted to be treated with a combination of radiation therapy and chemo. Later on, however, after his cancer reoccurred, he had to have his larynx removed. He was released from the hospital in March of 1990, but just 2 months later, he died from complications of his throat cancer on May 16, 1990, at age 64. He was buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California. 2 days after his death, the bright neon lights of the Vegas Strip went dark for 10 minutes in his honor. His fortune was eclipsed by his debts. In his will, Davis left the majority of his estate to his widow, Altovis Davis. It's estimated his estate was worth $4 million, but unfortunately, Davis had owed the IRS more than $5 million, which after penalties and interest ballooned to more than $7 million. Since Altovis had co-signed his tax returns, she became liable for his debt. To cover the massive bill, she was left with no other choice but to auction off his personal possessions and real estate holdings. A few of Davis's friends in the industry, including Steve Allen, Ed Asner, Jane Meadows, Joey Bishop, and Quincy Jones, arranged a fundraising concert at the famous Sands Hotel in Las Vegas to help ease that burden. In 1997, Altovis reached a settlement deal with the IRS. After her death in 2009, their son Manny became the sole executor of Sammy's estates and was made the majority rights holder of his intellectual property. Now it's time to hear from you.
All right, y'all. Something's going on here. Right? I mean, why are all our entertainers dying? I mean, dying broke. Not all of them, but most of them. Most of them are going broke. What's going on? Let me talk about Usain Bolt. Have you guys heard this story? Usain Bolt. Right? Yeah, you guys heard of Usain Bolt, fastest man alive, right? Well, Usain Bolt gave his $12 million cash money fortune to some people. See, and that's why, you gotta You got to listen. Maybe you don't agree with everything everybody say, but at least take in information. One of the things when you have like millions of dollars like that, one of the things they tell you is diversify your portfolio. You don't put everything in one basket, right? Because that one basket goes down, you out, right? Just like what happened to him. 12 million. 12 million, his people, his own people, his people that he hired stole it from him or squandered it or mismanaged it or whatever, right? So Sophia said, the white man I was talking ended, the white man I was talking ended because I said he lose his right money flaunting me around. He never been with a black woman before. The folk who knew definitely hated my existence. I think so. Well, depends on what kind of family they come from. Sophia, just like us, you know what I mean? Some of them, God told us that some of them are going to be righteous. They got a righteous nature. They're gonna lean more towards righteousness, right? And they ain't gonna, some white people don't care, but most of them will. Most of them will, right? And I'm not saying most of them are racist, but most of them will be concerned about the kind of, having a baby that looks like them, and that's natural. That's normal, right? I'm black. I want my sons to be black. I want my daughters to be black. He's white. He wants his sons to be white. His daughters to be white, right? That's normal. It's nothing. No big deal there. OG Patrice said, Fantasia went broke twice. Ruben stuttered as well. Hey, let me tell you somebody who went broke. I mean, you talking about have a streak of luck. Will Smith went broke. I think he went broke twice. Will Smith went broke twice. When Quincy Jones knocked on his door, he was like, yes, the Fresh Prince. I would have did the Fresh Waiter. Will Smith would do stuff like this. He would be in I think they're from Philly. He would be in Philly and he would fly like 20 different people down to Atlanta just to go to the shoe store, just to go to Foot Locker in the mall. They got some kind of mall down there in Buckhead. And he would fly 20 people, and just like Vaughn was talking about MC Hammer. Stupid stuff like that. Just ridiculous stuff, man. Right? She says much more to his story. I know, but I'm just saying he was saying he used to do stuff like that, and he just lost a whole bunch of money, right? Just doing dumb stuff and then by the time Quincy Jones was knocking on his door, he was like, "Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready." He was about to file bankruptcy. Sister Sophia said, I ain't finna be around that white girl like that. I'll happily toss my cards in and bounce. Well, y'all, let's listen to because see, here's the thing, man, and let me do this. Let me do this. I'm gonna put it out there. Because I want to discuss it and how we can get around it as regular folks, right? These are people that's really making huge mistakes. It's costing them a lot, right? And we got so many people we could talk about, y'all. But let me go over Usain Bolt real quick.
But hit was it?
I'm not broke, but it's definitely a damp one. Yeah,
Eight-time Olympic champion Usain Bolt says he is just as confused as most people regarding the multi-million-dollar fraud case involving his account at local investment house Stocks and Securities Limited, SSL. But the world's fastest man left no doubts about the split between himself and his longtime former business manager.
In his first public comment since news broke that he had been defrauded of millions of US dollars from his account at local investment house Stocks and Securities Limited, SSL, the world's fastest man Usain Bolt struck a resilient tone. Interestingly, the 8-time Olympic champion says he has drawn on the mental toughness he learned throughout his illustrious career to help him navigate the stresses of his current plight.
For me, it's tough, but I think through the years of competing, that helped me to understand and just focus on what's the matter. I leave the matter in my lawyer's hand. You understand? I'm just trying to focus on my family and try not to think too much about it because it's a stressful situation.
Bolt also cleared the air on the parting between himself and longtime business manager Norman Peart.
It was simple. It wasn't. He was fired. That's pretty much all I have to say. My lawyer said, no, I shouldn't say a lot about that, but it was not amicable. He was fired.
The allegations have played out largely in the public domain, but Bolt says he has no more clarity than the average Joe. So how much of a hit was it?
I'm not broke, but it's definitely put a damp on me. You understand? It was for my future. Everybody knows I have 3 kids. Still looking out for my parents, and I still want to live very well.
Oh boy. He was looking out for his parents, his whole family. 12 million. Poof. Gone just like that. Just like that. Now what? Now what? Okay, y'all. Come on. Y'all got to wake up. Wake up, y'all. This can happen to anybody. This happened to him was 12 million. What if it was you and it was just $1 million or 400,000? Right? You never put all your money in one pot. Never put all your money in one area or with one person, right? You got to spread your stuff around. That way, if you lose one egg here, that's okay. Your other eggs over here doing well. But when you try to, I'm gonna be super compound interest. No, because it may work, but it may not work, right? But the chances of it working are very slim. So Sophia said, Paul ain't gonna have no money like that again. Sometimes folks take a while investing your money. Yeah, but he's lucky, Sister Sophia. I mean, he has a lot of endorsement deals. So I mean, he'll be able to build back up. But it's gonna take him a long time. He ain't gonna do it, because I mean, he didn't get that money running races. He got that money on endorsement deals. So I don't think his endorsement deals are going to go away, but it's going to take him a minute to build that kind of cash back up. Now, here's the question. Y'all. Here's the question. What can we do to fix this? Right? I mean, we see some of our people, man. Our people are in such a bad situation. Right? Well, at least I do. I see them out here in LA, man. They living on the street, living behind apartment buildings, man. They living in alleys, living in alleyways. They in bad shape. Hold on, y'all. Yes, can I help you, ma'am?
Hi, brother. How are you?
What's going on?
Oh, not much. How you doing?
I'm doing good. When I sent you that text, I said, she already know. I know she already know about this.
Oh, yeah.
I already know. I'm like,
yeah. I had already seen, but it's going to be interesting because I am going to the Black Agenda in April, and I know he is one of the guest keynote speakers. So it will be interesting. It's going to be interesting, and that's in Atlanta. And the reason I'm going, I support. I always support and rock with Michi X, but I also one of my main reasons for going too is that my dear sister Angela Stanton King is going to be there as a keynote speaker too. So I'm going to support her as well. But I just found out that he's on the roster. So yeah, we're going to see if he's going to have all that smoke for OG Patrice when he see me up close and in person.
I forgot you. I forgot you was a stalker, Patrice. I forgot that, man. I forgot.
You crazy.
I knew you were senile.
I don't be stalking people. That's not. I don't do that. That's not what I'm about. You know that, bro. I am a subscriber to that YouTuber's channel, and that's how I happen to come across that in the algorithm. Right?
Okay.
Yes.
Right. When I saw that, I said, "Oh man, maybe Patrice, maybe she'll know something about this. Maybe she'll." Yeah, that's good. No,
I mean, it's all good and looking like his mindset and narrative is changing, and I think it's because of the influence that he's around now. You know, the Michi X's and people like that. And if that's true, then hey, great. It's awesome.
Hey,
beautiful. Yeah.
Another way to look at it.
But it's gonna be interesting, you know, being there and
your girl.
What's up with what?
I said, what did you got to say on the topic? What do you think about the topic?
Oh, listen, on the topic, I think that, you know, when you're talking about a lot of the older entertainers, well, I will say this, it's even still to this day for the most part. I think our number one problem with that happening to us was that the lack of the financial literacy is number one. And number two is the lack of the business side of the entertainment. A lot of artists, especially back then, didn't know as much as some of the artists are learning now, the business side of it, because let's be real. They, you know, most entertainers just say, "Hey, look, I'm the entertainment. I show up and do what I do and get paid for it." And their mindset never thought about the business side of it. And when you talking about entertainers that are making record labels millions of dollars and sometimes even billions of dollars, depending on how big they are, not having the financial literacy, not having the background and knowing the business side and how it works, and knowing that when they sign $100 million contract, you're not getting $100 million. You know what I mean? Like all of that upfront money to you is based off of record sales, touring. Your whole entourage comes out of that, out of your contract, however much you contracted for, however much it is, $100 million. Remember that's everything from your background singers, your musicians, your DJ, the dancers, the lighting people, all the way down to what you eat and drink. Everything counts. Your wardrobe, your makeup artist, your hairstylist. See, people don't realize that all of that comes out of that. Right. So when you have 100 million, and then not to say it's upfront money that the record labels are going to recoup back. So you really owe them, and you're in the red. And then you got the IRS issue that's going to take their part in it, right? So you out there hustling your butt off, touring all around the world, selling millions and millions of records, and not understanding why at the end, of it, like TLC, Left Eye said, you might be lucky if you get 33. I think she said 300,000 left, and like she said, oh, that's a nice house, but after that, I still got bills. I still got to live. What about a car? I got gas. I got food. I got kids, or whatever. So it's so much that goes on along with that people don't realize, and they think that $100 million is a lot of money, and it is for somebody that don't have anything. But when you don't have that financial literacy, and then like a lot of these rappers and even some singers out here are doing, they're spending so loosely with the jewelry, with the wardrobe, with some of the traveling they doing, these trips they go on, because for the most part, they've never had that much money in their life. And they're thinking, I'm young, and as long as I'm young, I'm going to be able to make all this money. Moving forward, I got a good, 20-year tenure at least, long as I'm staying hot and on top of the game, I'll be okay. But that's not always the case, because every album ain't going to be hit. every album ain't gonna sell millions. That first one did. So it's so much that goes on, behind the scenes that people don't realize that it comes out of their money, it come out of that artist's money, however much they're contracted with that record label, and it's really not your money. It's really the money they fronting you. Oh, not to mention marketing, advertising, television, radio, all of that comes out of your budget. All of it.
Right.
But yeah.
Per diem for food, all the limos, all that, right? That all.
Yep, limo, hotel. Yeah, absolutely.
Folks. All right. Thank you, sis. Hold on, let me bring up Von Bryant into the conversation. Brother
All
Von,
right.
What's up, Brother Clarence?
what's going on?
What's up, my sister Patrice? How are you?
I'm good, Brother Vaughn. How you doing?
Good. Yeah. Wow. We're talking about being good stewards over our money, and
yes,
we have plenty of examples of people who just have not been good stewards. And listen, if I were to be honest, I haven't always been a good steward over my money either.
Right.
But
amen to that.
All of it.
Exactly. But as I mature, I'm learning how to master it a little better. You see what I'm saying? And I think it's because a lot of times people think because they have a whole bunch of money, they don't realize that you end up spending more money. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
So if your net worth is $9 million, but you owe 15 million, basically you're broke.
Right. Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, you in the red, as they say. You in the red.
You're in the red. And so many of these individuals are living like many of us do, paycheck to paycheck.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? They have the lavish home, and they have their rent is some rent is, people are paying rent of $10,000 a month. If you could imagine that.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And so you feel like because you have the money to do that is a good idea.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you're trying to keep up and keep up with the Joneses, And so this is how we end up squandering our money. Hey, Patrice, and I'm sure you're aware of this too. Many people, it is said that have won the lottery, they end up losing all of that.
Oh yeah, end up going broke. Same thing. Yep, absolutely.
It's like.
So what do y'all think? What do y'all think is the reason why?
I'm saying the main reason is not having the financial literacy education, not being educated enough to know how to save, invest, especially invest, in something that's going to continuously have you an income, for when you get old, for when you retire, for when you can't sell those records no more, for what if something happened and you can't tour no more. The what ifs, right? We don't think about that, especially when you're young. Why do you think so many young artists are frivolous with their money and the things that they're doing now? Some of them are getting smart, and investing in other things like liquor and weed and and all these different things, that like your 50 Cents, your Snoops, your Dr. Dre's, your Diddy's and all these people. I mean, and even your Jay-Z's. I mean, they are investing in other things because they know that they getting older and this record business ain't lucrative like it used to be anymore like that.
Yeah. And it changes, so it's so funny, man, so fickle. It changes every now and then. So what was selling yesterday is going to be selling today. So yeah, it changed. But my point.
Yeah, you could be hot today and then cold tomorrow, and in that business they forget about you in a New York minute.
Right. Remember what happened to MC Hammer? MC Hammer was making all this money, and then the people started hating on him, saying he's soft. Right. So then he comes out with this Pumps and the Bumps record, right? And his crowd was like, what is this? This is not you. You know what I mean? And he just pretty much flushed his career down the toilet. But
it's so funny. Y'all mentioned MC. MC had an entourage of 30 plus people from his dancers and all of that toured, that man was gracious enough to take care of a lot of his friends that grew up with him in the hood, and all of that, went to school with him, whatever. I actually know a young lady that used to be a dancer for MC Hammer. She lives in Las Vegas, right now. And it's so funny because when he broke, it's funny how Billie Holiday say, when the money's gone and spending ends, where are your friends? Nowhere to be found, and it's crazy. But I will say he is now wealthy again because a lot of people don't know he invested in certain things when it came to, I think, like something with telecommunication and some other stuff. So he is actually low key wealthy now. When I say low key, I mean quietly and not spreading the wealth around like he did when he was a artist, because he's now like a pastor and a motivational speaker and all of that. And I will say this too, and right quick, and I'll let you speak. People don't know, if it had not been for AI's accountant, he will be dead broke right to this day. When I say AI, I'm talking Allen Iverson. When Allen Iverson was carelessly blowing money when he was younger, left to right, left to right, he had the right account. And I'm telling you to pay attention because that's important. He had the right accountant that kept telling him to put money and invest into IRA and CDs. AI finally listened and told him move so many millions there. And right today, that's why AI is not broke. Okay, I'm telling y'all. That is why it did a story on it, talking about it. That is why Allen Iverson is not broke to this day. It's because he listened to his accountant that said, you need to move some, you spending money too much, you spending too many millions too fast. Let me put some of this money in a CD. Let me move some of it in a IRA, blah, blah, blah. And the rest is history.
Yeah. I think they put it in a trust where he couldn't touch it till he was like 48 or 49 years
Yep,
old. Like
that is true.
And another thing.
Go ahead, Vaughn.
Yeah, another thing is that we oftentimes see people who are basically thousandaires, trying to front as if they're millionaires, but they're thousandaires. And they go to some of these establishments. I won't call them by name, but they make it rain quite a bit, and it's nothing for them to just floss and and make it rain like $3,000. See, but you're a thousandaire, you're not a millionaire. See, so you're squandering money for what?
Right.
Absolutely, for what?
Vanity.
If you're a good steward over your money, see what I'm saying? You would have gave $20 and held on to the rest of what you have.
Well, we like to floss because, and when I say we, I mean specifically Black folk, because especially if we've never had nothing or come from nothing, we go over and beyond and extra all the time. And it's the funny thing is because some of the wealthiest people are the people that's walking around in gym shoes and sneakers and t-shirts and blue jeans on, and you never know that they are millionaires. But we, on the other hand, we like to floss in front and spend the most money on the designer wear. We go because we got to show everybody. We got to one everybody. That's what we do as a people. Unfortunately, but you see other people walking around. I know a lot of Caucasians and Hispanics that are very wealthy, and you wouldn't know it by looking at them. But they are wealthy people when it comes to investments and businesses and things of that nature. And we just look like we got money and ain't got nothing for the most part. Ain't got no investments, don't own nothing. But we love to, show up in the latest Maserati and living in an apartment, shit like that. Like that's the type of stuff we do. Crazy.
And you know what? It's the flamboyant. See, it's the flamboyant. When we get caught up into being flamboyant with the our money and things that we have acquired, and we become real flamboyant with it. See, that's what leads to us being broke in the end. See what I'm saying? Because you really didn't need all of that. You're doing a whole bunch of stuff just for surface, and you're spending a whole bunch of stuff on, but then you're not even taking care of your taxes. See, you see what I'm saying? Many of these people are behind in their taxes because they're not even paying attention. And
Yeah.
you don't want the IRS to come after you now.
Yeah. Now, when you got taxes
Because
like
that's a whole nother story. Jail time is involved.
Yeah, the IRS. I mean, just ask people.
Look at what happened to
Wesley Snipes. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, I used to work. I worked all over LA, all over, and I've been to where people had millions and millions and millions of dollars to down in the hood, man, down in Nickerson Garden, Imperial Courts, right? So one day I was working down in Imperial Courts, and that's that's Grape Street, Watts. So I was down there, right, and so how the projects are set up, man. Everybody's cars is parked in front of the buildings, right? So I'm looking at all these brand new cars. I'm like, wait a minute, but I'm in the projects. Wait, hold on. I would think you would be paying that kind of money for rent, and then, get you a place, get you a nice place, but not such an expensive car, right? But I would see all these brand new car, Benzos, Land Rovers. They would be brand new. Like, man, it's our mentality, right? I'm like, what are we doing down here, man? What are we doing, right? Same thing when I went over to Jordan Downs and Nickerson, right? Same thing. It was like, what's going on, right? So, but my point is, or my question for y'all, why don't we talk to a financial advisor? Or why don't we, especially when we get that kind of money, why do we put it up to our ears and be like, or take pictures? I guess that's the young guys. But I guess when you get about 25 or 26, 27, and you got some kind of money, why don't we go talk to a financial advisor? Or is it like with these stars? Because some of our stars, they try to get the information, right? But they so busy, their schedule's so busy, and the person that's running their program don't want them to talk to a financial advisor, right? Like, for example, Gary Coleman's parents, right? They kept everything away from him. He didn't see nothing for years and years and years and years and years, right? And then when he tried to go get himself an apartment, he found out he was broke. He basically didn't have anything, right?
Yeah, and that's crazy. And I think that's a little bit of what's happening right now to Britney Spears, with her family. Her dad, when he had conservatory over her money, he was spending like crazy, buying all kinds of luxury cars and just going through the girl's money. And I mean, she got millions, don't get me wrong, but it's like that's her money. She earned that. You know what I mean? So when you have parents that are greedy as well, unfortunately, people like the Gary Colemans end up broke because of the parents. I think what's that name? That little boy, Webster. I think he had to sue his parents too. I mean, you hear so much of that, because again, the parents. I get it. You probably sacrificed a lot for your child to become a star. I get that. And I'm not saying the child shouldn't do anything for the parents once they become wealthy, but I think it's only so much of that. You know what I mean? That can be done. I mean, what's the name was fighting with his family over it. What's his name? The basketball started that in the plane crash. What's his? Oh my God, I think Kobe Bryant. He went through that with his parents. It's so. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, how much is enough? You know what I mean when it comes to your parents and stuff, as far as what you should do or give them. I don't think that you owe your parents everything or the world just because they helped you get to where you are. I'm not, you owe them something, but like, what is enough? Because once, the parents can be so greedy and try to be controlling, and they can as long as the child is underage. But once the child makes a certain age, the money is theirs. And Brittany is going through that right now because her family is actually trying to have her committed again.
Again?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's been all over social media. Yes, it's and she steady saying like, I'm not crazy. I mean, it's kind of like the Wendy Williams situation. Look what happened to her. It's just,
Oh man, what
listen,
happened?
money make people do crazy stuff. You got people that are murking their own family members for this money, man. Like,
Yes. Do you know who just
so
came up for parole and was denied?
who?
Lorenzen, Wright's wife.
Oh, really? That basketball star that,
Yes. She
oh,
had him
wow.
murked.
I hope she was denied
He was denied,
because
and
she
she
definitely had him murked for the money,
had him
for
murked.
sure. Man,
Yeah,
that case was sad. That case,
yeah,
so, so
that was
sad.
a bad one. That was a bad one. Shout out to Wally from Wally from Wealth Media, and shout out to Doc. Shout out Doc. Good to see you in the building, brother. Um, Wendy Safa, glad to have you in the building. Says save, don't spend unless we're talking about land and property. Got you. That's some good advice, right? But this is my
Absolutely.
question to y'all. It's my question to everybody, and y'all in the chat too. Why don't Black people go and see financial advisors? Why don't we do it?
I think we're doing it now more than ever, especially the younger generation that's learning financial literacy. But I think the older ones are kind of more set in their ways, especially when you talking the boomers on, they kind of more set in their ways, and they just like, oh well, I got more years, behind me than I do ahead of me, so I'm just gonna roll with the punches. That's kind of like the attitude of the older generation. But I think this younger generation, because we see so many of the younger generation, especially from your Gen X's on down, that are becoming entrepreneurs. And they're learning how to start their own businesses. They're learning financial literacy and how to make this money work for them. I just want them to be smart to continue to say, I'm going to have this money work for me where I don't have to work for the money when I get older.
Okay. Okay. So, um, we know that in the Gary Coleman situation, his parents took him just like Doc said, Emmanuel Lewis, right? Okay. And in some of these situations, the accountant, because the accountant had so much leeway, the accountant took someone like Ray Charles, right? The accountant took almost everything. Same thing happened to Stevie Wonder, right? Accountant took almost everything, right?
Right.
So,
Remember, for a long time, Ray Charles, when he first started on the Chitlin circuit with him being blind, he asked to get paid in all singles because that was the only way he could count his money.
right.
Because people would cheat him, putting $1 in his hand, talking about 5, 10, 15, 20, when it was
Right.
$1. So he said, no, if you owe me $300 for this gig I just did, I want 300 singles, which was a smart thing because that
Right.
was the only way he knew how to count his money until he can get people that obviously later down the line he could trust. But he got smart, as did Chuck Berry, when it came to learning about your masters and controlling your masters and owning your masters, as did Sam Cooke, as did a lot of other ones as they started coming along more and more in the music business. When you're talking people like Michael Jackson and Prince used to tell artists, you want to do something with me, don't even come to me until you own your master. Because remember, he went through that whole thing
Yeah,
with
with Warner
Warner
Brothers.
Brothers.
Yeah.
So it's we have to learn, and a lot of times we have learned through trial and error and through the experiences of other people and what they went through. To say they went through that and it was hard for them, I don't want that to happen to me. That's the attitude we need to have when it comes to learning financial literacy or learning the business side of whatever business endeavor it is that you
Correct.
want to get into.
Correct. Because I just feel like we have so much money that goes through our fingers, and then turn around at the end, there's nothing. It's like, how can you have nothing? You had everything, and now you got nothing. That's great. There's a basketball player named Antoine Jameson, not Antoine Jameson, Antoine. Oh man, I forgot his last name. Not Antoine Jameson.
Antoine Walker.
Antoine Walker.
That's my brother's friend. I knew you was talking to me. Yeah, I know his story. Anyway, that's a whole a
Right.
little bit.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
anyway, yeah, he played for
But
the Chicago Bulls and
$110
went
million.
broke. Went broke. Yeah.
Right? Giving
Yep.
everybody cars, giving everybody everything.
Mm-hmm.
You just
showboating. We used to call it showboating.
Yep.
It's like you just, you're showing off.
Right. Or refronting.
And fronting. There you go. And come on, man. How many of us have squandered money, trying to just front, trying to keep up with the Joneses. You see what I'm saying? And we living beyond our means. See, that is the biggest thing.
It's overdoing it.
Yeah, that causes
Just
us
overdoing it with anything, overdoing it with the house, overdoing it with the cars. Because you men, you love your cars. Okay, I get you 1, 2, 3, 4 cars. Now you got men that do car collections, 30, 40 cars.
Patrice, I gotta stop you right there.
Uh-huh.
Men don't love cars. We love the cars because the cars gets the girls. The girls getting in the cars.
Well, you have car collectors, though. I mean, when you talk about people like Shaq and Jay Leno, they collect cars, right? So they got a garage. They got a special garages built for 20 to 30 cars that they own. So listen, you only could drive one at a time. You only could drive one at a time. And I get it. I know, women got their things because we love our clothes and shoes and jewelry, and men love their toys. But at what point is it gluttony at a point when it's overkill with it?
It's because of, when we look at it, people who acquire great finances and become rich, there's a certain greed that's involved with it. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like you could just have one car. See, now you've become greedy. Oh no, I want a fleet of cars. See, because I have those type of finances where I could buy a fleet. See what I'm saying? But is a fleet really necessary? No, it's not. You get what I'm saying? And so what we do is the money causes us to become more and more filled with greed. You see? Yeah, it's the love of money.
Yeah, more money, more problem.
Money, that is the root of all evil.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all a question. Why do we have the love for money? I mean, shouldn't we should love our children, our wives, our husbands, our friends and family. But why we have a love for money? I mean, I gotta answer.
There's a scripture that says that, all that is in the world is the lust of the eye, the lust of the flesh and the pride of life. And it seems like a little short, little tiny passage, but it has a lot of weight to it if you really search it and try to understand what it means. You see what I'm saying? It's because it's the lust of the eye. You see, what we see, it's what we see, that allures us, that pulls us in, see what I'm saying? And we're so impressed by what we see because we want it. Now we're covetous. We're coveting now because, Brother Clarence got that big old Cadillac over there. And I'm so sick. I need to have one too.
And mine gonna be better than his because mine's gonna have more bells and whistles on it.
Exactly. And so I'm not just gonna get one, but I'm gonna get 4 because Brother Clarence can't outdo me now. Hold on.
Right.
See what I'm saying? But at the same time now, yeah. Go ahead, sister.
No, I was gonna say I think we need to learn the difference in what money is for, what is truly genuinely here to do for us, instead of what in our minds what we think it's for. So when you say the love of money, I don't like to say I love money. I think as I've grown older, I've learned to appreciate it more. And I think to appreciate it for the things that it has allowed me to be able to do, right? And I'm not talking about material things now because I'm not in my 20s and 30s no more. So money means more to me now than it did back then, right? I mean, God, if I could, all the money I've had through my hands in my 20s and 30s, Jesus Christ, if I could just turn back the hands of time, you know what I mean? So, so I think when you realize as you get older what truly money is for, and I think if you can decipher the difference, then you will be wiser at how you choose to spend it and what you choose to spend it on or who you choose to spend it on. But we don't think like that. We think like here, now, and that's it. We don't think about the future. We don't think about, for the most part, getting older. Not when you're young. When you're young, you ain't thinking about when you're getting older. You gotta have this, that, and the other. Like younger, they just don't think like I didn't think like that. You know what I mean? When you young, you don't think that I gotta grow old one day because you always looking at some old person and be like, "Oh, you old." I mean, you hear young people saying that about us now. It's like, "Oh, you old." When I was in my 20s and 30s, I was like, "Oh, Jesus, 50, 60, that's old." But and I get it. It's a mindset, but their minds are not thinking that far ahead. It's just for the most part, it's just not. They're thinking about the here and the now. But if you can learn through financial literacy classes what truly the definition of money is for and what it needs to be used for, not just only your want, but know the difference in your want and your need. See, a lot of times we get that confused. See, we think we need that new car, but we don't. We think we need that fur coat. We think we need that diamond ring. We think we need, all of these different trips or whatever. For the most part, no, we don't need those. Those are wants. So knowing the difference between the need and the want, and to say, okay, can I afford to do this? I want to do it, but can I afford it at this time? It's knowing the difference between when you should use your money for a good cause and when you should not. And that's where we lack in financial literacy. Us meaning as black people specifically.
Okay. Let me ask y'all, cause y'all are smart.
Hey, I'm gonna listen to y'all rock for a minute. I gotta run in here in the store, so y'all just go ahead and rock for a minute, but I'm listening.
All right.
All right.
Okay, then I'm asking you, Vaughn.
All right, brother.
All right. So what I really want to do is ask her, but she kept on talking. I want to
look. I don't have.
Okay, you could ask me too. I'm listening.
You see this girl, man? I thought she was in the store. What happened, Vaughn? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? All right, so let me ask her real quick for her connection get back. All right, Patrice, what is money for? Because you brought up a good question. People don't know what money is for. What is money for?
Money is hold on, it's windy out here. Money is a resource, right, to provide necessities in life that we deem to live and survive off of. It is a source of that can provide other resources for us. It's a tool. It's not, and you know what I mean? You use money as a tool. You don't use money as, what is the other word I'm looking for? I can't think right now. But we don't use it as a tool to make money or more profit for us for the most part. We use it just to spend for the most part.
Yes. And that's
if that makes sense.
No. I agree with you because the highest use for money is to make more money. The lowest use for money is to be spent it. And I think most other communities understand that. Shout out to the Jill Pill. Where you been, girl? Shout out to the Jill Pill.
I know. I was just thinking about Jill today. Hey, sis.
But I think the highest is to now. Dr. Hood in the chat said you got more options, right? You're right, Doc. You have more options when you have
Yes.
money, right? But I think if you were to line up every line up the uses for money, I think people that make money with money, they would say the first thing you should do with money is try to make some more money with
Well,
it
bro,
as
it's
a
so
tool.
yes, I heard this guy that teaches financial literacy say the difference between poor people, middle income people, and wealthy people is this. Poor people work, make money to pay bills, work more to make money to pay bills, right?
Right,
Middle class people work, make money to get in debt to get credit that they really can't afford. That's middle class people.
right,
They work to make money to get credit cards, to get in debt, to buy things that they really can't afford. He said, but wealthy people realize that they make money to make more money.
right.
Boom. I mean, I was like, wow, that was
Yeah,
it.
but that's what
They say, how can I make this money make me more money?
right,
Right?
right, because they get the overall concept is yes, you can't while you can spend money to do things, ultimately that dollar is losing value every second, right? Ultimately that dollar is losing value. So they get the concept that if you just leave it sitting, it's probably going to lose a lot of value. But if you can make it work, yet keep the risk of losing the initial principal down, you can find a way to beat the what do you call that, the inflation, because the inflation is uh, the problem. That's what's going to be the problem, the inflation, right? All right, but let me read um, Wanzi Safa says, I don't think of money as the root of all evil. I think pride or an overabundance of pride comes before a fall. Absolutely. Now let's
Yeah, yeah, I
Vaughn.
would agree. I would agree with that.
Let's read some stuff because Vaughn, man, I can't just say nothing to Vaughn. Vaughn's gonna make me prove it. Say it,
But
Clint. You
then,
got to
then, then
prove
again,
it.
to brother Umwazi, if I'm saying that correctly, it's not so much that money is the root of all evil. It is the love of money. You see
Yeah,
what
we're
I'm
gonna read
saying?
that
We
now. We're gonna
but
read that
anyway,
right
so
now.
yeah, but I agree with his statement full heartedly. You know, but go ahead, go ahead.
All right, man. Let me read this real quick. Uh, this is First Timothy 6:10. In your Bibles, in your King James version of your Bible, it says, "For the love of money is the root of all evil." It say money. It says the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith. Right? That means when they had a decision to make whether they were going to follow the faith or the money, they followed the money. Yikes. And pierced themselves through with many sorrows, right? Chasing that money, they have the ups and downs, right? You ever seen somebody, Vaughn, that follows the stock market? Those day trader got type of guys. Man, they're happy
Yeah,
one minute, they're
yeah.
sad, they're happy, sad, happy, sad. They're all
Well,
over the road, man.
it's a up and down lifestyle, right?
Right, man. They all over the road.
Yeah. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and it's man, it's a gamble. When you're
Right?
dealing with that. Any time that you put your money up for gambling, and some people could argue and say, well, you know what, we always take a gamble with our money. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
no, I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. You see what I'm saying? Because some people make some very wise decisions concerning how they invest and use their money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah.
Okay, so why I'm gonna have this is an ugly question, Ron. This is an ugly one. Why don't if so many people are dying and literally having all of these problems um with money, probably 80% or more of the people are living paycheck to paycheck, right? Millionaires down to low income, right? Just paycheck to paycheck, most of us, right?
It's because basically of a financial illiteracy. We're not financially literate, a lot of us, you know.
Right.
And listen, I've been guilty of this, and this is what I've been working on for years. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, if you don't take the time to figure out what is a budget, you know, there's a such thing as a budget.
Yeah.
You just can't take all of your money and hand it over to people without you having some type of knowledge and awareness of what that money is doing for you. And this is how a lot of celebrities end up in the red, you know, because they put their trust in other people to handle their finances. You know, they're so caught up in their celebrity or whatever their artistry is, to where they don't really have time to sit and study and review. You know,
Right.
what the paper looks like. What does it look like? Where's the money going? You know, I should have access to that.
Right.
You know, so yeah, so a lot of us we get tripped up and caught up that way. You know, and you know, I could imagine when you have a whole bunch of money, you
Oh,
know, how hard it is to manage. Because see, listen, a lot of us are not even faithful over a few things.
right.
Some of us aren't even faithful over a little. You know, there's a scripture that says, if you're faithful over a few things, I can make you ruler over many. You know, and so I equate that to money as well. You know, if you're not faithful over these little dimes and quarters that I'm giving you,
Right.
you know, how are you going to really function when I opened up the door for you to have millions? How does that look for you? See,
Right.
but if you learn how to budget the little things, there's a structure to budgeting. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It
Yeah.
inquires pen and paper. You know, some people use little apps or whatever they use, but there is a system, you know, that you can learn. You see what I'm saying? And don't live above your means. You know,
Mm.
and so yeah, so I would just say that, brother.
Yeah. Yeah. I just don't understand, Vaughn, why. I understand who did it. Ronald Reagan did it. Took these budgeting classes and these classes that they used to call economics out of the high schools, right? They taught
Wow,
you how
that
to balance a
yeah,
checkbook. They
wow,
taught you how to
that was actually in the school at one time, right?
write. It
I
was in high
remember
school when I had that class. Right?
that.
So you had to
Wow,
learn. They
yeah,
taught you how to cook for yourself. You
yeah,
had to make those nachos with the
yeah,
cheese, put them in the oven and everything.
yeah,
You had to do that. You had to make a budget. You had to
right.
balance a checkbook. You had to iron your clothes. I mean,
Hmm.
they told you
Right.
how to do a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
different
iron. Listen, a lot of these young people don't even know what an iron is nowadays. You know how we
yeah,
used to do, brother Clarence. We had to have the crease
yeah,
and everything when we stepped
yeah,
out. See what I'm saying?
yep, yep. And then my mother was like, "Hey, you got to have your whole clothes creased up."
Yeah. Don't
She said
forget
you
the
got to
starch,
iron it.
right, brother? Don't
Yeah,
forget that
right.
starch.
spraying that, excuse me, spraying that starch all over everything, right? My
Man,
mother would
come
be
on.
like, "Man, I don't want to hear that ironing board opening up during the week, so you better
Yeah.
do it all tonight, right, on a Sunday night, right?" So I'm like, God,
But you know, it's funny, brother Clarence, because the crease is totally extinct now, because you know now they're wearing skinny jeans. See, that doesn't require a crease. So
you
you
know
know,
what? We're gonna have to do a show on skinny jeans. We're gonna do a whole
oh
show
man,
on skinny
listen,
jeans.
don't get me to talking on that one, because I have a whole, oh man, you know. But hey, you know, the young people are going to do what they're doing. But you know, I'm from the old school, so you know, I remember those days, you know, where you had to be ironed. And
Yeah,
you know, now the young people get up and they just throw stuff on and go right out the door.
right,
You know, there's no such thing as sending your clothes to the cleaners. No, no, they
right.
just put them in the washing machine. You know, certain things that you buy and you acquire require the cleaners to handle it,
Man, I
right?
got a son that's so lazy, brother. I got a son that's so lazy. He won't
Okay,
even
I ain't
want
gonna
to
go
sit up
into that one, but yeah, go right
he,
ahead.
he he won't even go across the street and bring his clothes to his mother and say, "Can you please wash them? I'll give you some money to wash these clothes." Right? He's so lazy, he just throw the clothes away and go buy some new ones. I mean, I'm like,
that no, man, we can't be doing that, bro.
you know what I mean? I'm like,
No.
but because I'm taking care of his daughter, you know what I'm saying? If he had to take care of his own daughter, he wouldn't be able to do that. But I'd be like, what are you doing, man? But anyway, that's a whole nother story. Just trust me, I've seen people throw money away, right? So, but my point is this, y'all. Why are we what's stopping us from going to these financial advisors? What's stopping us? Because now we got access, right? Like I was saying before, you know, we used to have in the 80s, you had classes in high school that taught you how to deal with money, how to deal with different things, right? And so our good friend Mr. Reagan removed all that stuff, got rid of all that stuff, right? But how come we don't fight to get that stuff back in the schools so that, because we were getting the most out of it. And you know who fought with him to take that out? The credit card companies. The credit card companies did not want you to know how to figure out interest and how to know what's going on. They want you to just walk onto a car lot. Oh, 24% interest. That's great, right?
Yeah, 27, 30% interest. Wow, that's wonderful.
That's wonderful.
And you're going to give me the car anyway?
Yeah,
and I can still get the car? Wow.
Yeah. on a $15,000 car, I'm gonna pay you $45,000. Yeah, that's great, right?
and sad to say that, you know, I have agreed to some of those contracts.
All of us have, brother. All of us.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, because
sometimes
I felt like, well,
sometimes you're in a situation where you got no choice, you know.
Exactly, because if you want the car now, if you really, really want it,
you got to get to work.
This is the agreement. And that's where we make mistakes too, you know. It's like, you know, we probably could have gone about it differently and looked into another car. You see what I'm saying? Or went to a different car lot, you know, and compare prices. Sometimes when we get on a lot, it's just because we just want the car. We want the car now, you know.
Right.
We're not thinking of going to several lots. You see what I'm saying? That's being a good steward and saying, now that I went to 7 different lots, who has the better offer?
Right.
You know, but then you know how they do, Brother Clarence. They know how to pull you in.
Oh yeah, yeah, you know,
They'll pull you in. And they say, well, listen, we'll throw an ashtray in there for you.
Yeah.
You'd be like, an ashtray? Wow.
Yeah. We're gonna charge the same price over. We're gonna charge the same price, but we're gonna throw an ashtray in there for you. Right?
Exactly.
You don't know the ashtray come with it, right?
We go for the okie doke, right? We go for the okie doke.
Yeah.
And that's how we're squandered. And a lot of us, you know, you have 2 things going on, Brother Clarence. You have excuse me, the situation where we squander our own money, right? And then we have this situation where we're conned and hoodwinked and tricked out of our money.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So,
right.
Man, it happens.
Well, you know, Yvonne, maybe we need to put together a financial literacy course, man. We need to put something together. I mean, there's so many things that we need to do, man.
I mean, hey, that'd be an excellent segment. But what we've come to find out in these spaces that you know, you'll end up with 2 viewers because people love to hear the smut and the fight clubbing and all of these different things. They don't really want to learn anything that's beneficial. You see what I'm saying? To their financial wealth. You know? And so, but nevertheless, I would say, hey, you know, go for it because it's well needed.
Yeah. I just think that we just gotta, you know, educate our young men, especially. I mean, the women too, but the young men, I think, are the most vulnerable to the impulse buying, you know, for their toys or the cars and everything. I want this kind of car, right? I
You know, I listen, I look at a car as a necessity, you know, because you definitely need to be able to, you know, get yourself to and fro
Right.
Regardless to whatever the reason is why you have to go from point A to point B, especially when it involves employment and work. You see what I'm saying? And some cities you can definitely take a public transportation. Like Chicago is a great place. You almost don't need a car there because there's a train that'll drop you off in front of anywhere you want to go. But then when you
Okay.
have some areas like up here in Pasadena or Altadena or some of these areas in California, you see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Or, you really need a car to get around.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, man. But like I said, I think we need to. That's something we're gonna work on. We're gonna work on that, y'all. We're gonna work on that retirement, and we're gonna work on just day-to-day living.
by
Because
the way, Brother Clarence,
yes, sir.
I was able to catch your Zoom situation today that you
Yeah.
did about no means no and teaching the young people about sexual conduct and all of
Yeah.
the and that was excellent, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that. It was excellent. I was so very proud of you, gentlemen. And I just so you know, I was listening, but I actually got my eyebrows waxed off while I was listening.
What is it? What's this girl doing?
I have no idea.
What is this girl doing?
I got my eyebrows waxed.
How you get?
She
Well,
just
how do you
came in
get
like
your
a
eyebrows
flood,
waxed
right?
while you
She
listening?
came in like a flood.
Yeah.
I was listening while I was waxing my eyebrow, getting my eyebrows waxed, y'all. What's wrong with that?
Nothing. I'm just saying. For me, that's like, man, that's a you know how to multitask.
You
Man,
know
they
I do, right?
my eyebrows. I'll be like, get them on my eyebrows.
But careful with your microphone because it's scratching and doing all
Okay,
kind of
sorry
stuff
about
right
that.
now.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
kind of moving around. Sorry about that. I'll go back in and take my have my mic on mute.
All right.
All right. Well, she's gonna
Yeah.
finish those eyebrows.
Yeah, man, you ran up out of here, boy. That's
No,
good.
I'm done with the eyebrows, y'all. But I'm about
Oh,
to go
okay.
home now. I'm headed home.
Oh,
I'm headed home.
Be careful.
oh,
Be careful.
okay. All
Careful
right.
about your street.
Well, we'll be here when you get there.
Yeah, we'll be here. We'll be right here.
I'm
All right.
only across the street from my house, y'all. I'm only
Okay.
across the street. Listen, I frequent my black-owned business. My barber, the girl that does my eyebrows and all of that, my nails, all it. That's black-owned, and it's right across the street from my house, and I'm so happy about that.
All right, I'm gonna ask you a question. You gotta tell the truth, Patrice. Patrice,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
are you gonna jaywalk? Or are you gonna go all the way down to the? Are you gonna go all the way down to the light, push the button, and wait for the light, and then go across the street? Or are you gonna jaywalk?
I'm driving, so I have to drive
Driving.
across the street. Yeah, I'm driving. Yeah, I just got off work, so I'm driving across the street to
I
my
don't want to.
home.
I don't want to. I don't want to have to call the CHP out there on you. Say, hey, go check this
Wait,
girl.
say what now? Say what?
she jaywalking, sir. I know. I know a serious crime is going on. A serious crime in progress.
But
Gotta
no,
get out there right now.
actually, on a good day, I have walked over here, right? And it's a really nice little walk. But I just got off work today, so I'm driving, and it's actually raining here in Arizona. So
Oh
yeah.
wow. Oh wow. Oh wow. Yeah, man. I've been to Arizona once or twice, I think. Yeah, I've been to Arizona a couple times. It's hot out there, man. Phew. All right, y'all. Let's get back to talking about this money, right? So, why? Okay, if we're not getting this teaching in school, why aren't we seeking it? Like, why aren't we telling each other? Like, we'll tell each other, like Patrice was saying, we'll tell each other, oh, did you see this on social media? Did you see that on social media? Did you see that? We'll tell each other that. And I believe some of us are doing some of this stuff. And then sometimes we run into people that are like could take advantage of us. But why aren't we telling each other about people that you can go to and say, hey, look, you can this person knows about money management, and I get. Do we think? Oh, I don't have enough money to have a financial advisor, or what do you guys think? What it is? And Wazi says, you know what I missed out on? I missed out on the black-owned bank. That was before my time, I think. There's a couple of them still out there. A couple of them still out there. You know what I mean? So, I think out here we got.
Yes, unfortunately, it's a lot of them that are quote unquote black owned that are online now. They got a couple in some of the big cities because I know they have some back in my hometown in Chicago. Remember Seaway,
Yeah,
Brother
Seaway,
Vaughn, Seaway Bank? Mm-hmm.
Broadway Federal,
Wow.
couple other ones. Couple other ones out here. One United, a couple other ones out here. Yeah, but they still around, you know what I mean? You know what the problem with the black owned banks are? The problem with them is that they can't just do business on their own, right? They have to go through like Bank of America or one of these larger banks to do major transactions. And that's the unfortunate part because you're trying to get away from them, but they got to do business with them to do the transactions, right? Especially overseas transactions. They got to get in bed with Bank of America to do a lot of overseas transactions. So that's unfortunate, but hey, we got to just build them up. Build them up as best we can, right? Yeah. Go check out the Broadway Federal, Seaway, and One United. You can just type them into your browser right now, and you can find them. But I'm sure it's a lot of, like you guys said, it's a lot of online banks that's out there. Okay, y'all. So, is it that we feel like we don't have enough money for a financial advisor, or because I mean we all know eventually one day we're gonna have to work. We're not gonna be able to work, right?
Exactly.
Right. I mean,
I'm in that position now.
even Jesus said, at some point the sun is gonna set on you, right? And the people ain't gonna, nobody's gonna, no employer's gonna want you, right? Because you got that gray hair. You walk in there. I look like Vaughn with that gray beard, man. I walk in there and I'll say, hey, I'm ready to move some of these boxes. They say, you crazy? I got 20 youngins that are moving boxes quicker than you. I ain't got to worry about them getting hurt. I ain't got to pay no, I have to pay no, all that hurt your back. You going to want me to pay some money. These
No
youngins
workers'
all
comp.
that and get right back up, right? So, knowing that the sun is going to set on us, y'all, why aren't we planning for it, A? And why aren't we, what is stopping us from looking toward the future?
You know what? I really
Go ahead.
believe. Oh, okay.
No, go ahead, bro.
Yeah. I really believe one of the major reasons is because, even though the word is out there, you don't have too many people listening to it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
About financial awareness and how to prepare. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that we need to be more diligent about putting that message in the ears of the younger people. You see what I'm saying? And I don't know how well we are at doing that at present time, but I just think they need to hear it more, and hear it more profoundly, in a space to right to where they're at, and but yeah, so that would be one of my answers. What could we do? Definitely, get the message out there, figure out a way to get the message presented on a more higher scale,
Okay.
and figure out a way to where we can get those younger individuals to listen, because they're just not listening. They want to hear a lot of other stuff. You see what I'm saying? They're drawn away by other things.
Right.
So
Agreed.
yeah, I would just throw that out there.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Patrice, you ready? Or I'm gonna let the doc go, brother.
Yeah, no, in short, I would just say, yeah, I agree with Vaughn, but I think having the conversations with your loved ones, I think it starts at home first. Uh, with you, with your families and stuff, especially the younger generation, because as I said, as we get older, we know we have more years behind us than ahead of us. So my plan for me was having that conversation with my son, thinking about his future and the future of his children, right? And so it got to start at home first. And if we're not doing it at home, it's hard to do abroad. And I talked to my son about, because I decided to get one for myself, right? A financial advisor, especially when I won that little, y'all know I won that little package on that little game show, right? And I was like, what's the best way? Can I, put investment, into this for, hey, I'm triggered. Don't trigger
I
me.
knew, I
Do
knew Brother
not
Terrence.
trigger me, right?
I knew he was going to go there. I
I knew he was
absolutely
too, as
knew.
soon as I said that. So, having that conversation and saying I wanted to do something for my grandchildren, and giving my son some money and stuff, and saying, okay, now the rest I want to do this with, right? Um, Having that conversation with him and saying, look, this is what I'm going to give each one of my grandchildren. Put this away for whatever help with college, this, that, take this. And then this is what I'm doing with this, son. I'm getting a financial advisor. I'll up my insurance policy, just things like that, and say, hey, I know you young and you not thinking about this stuff, because I didn't think about this stuff when I was your age and younger. I said, but we got to think about this stuff. I said, because guess what? I'm not going to always be here. You're not going to always be here. So, and money, and future money like that is not for the the dead. It's for the living. So it's what you do with it, who you leave it behind to, so that they can continue to create financial wealth for generations to come. That's the conversation I had with my son. So it has to start with us first at home, and then we can have these conversations abroad. So that's all I wanted to say about that.
All right, right on. What about you, Doc? What you think, man?
How y'all doing today?
All right, big brother.
Hey, what's up, Doc?
Oh, just cooling. Now y'all been cooking. You guys pretty much summed everything up. But yeah, I think I'm gonna be a little repetitive because y'all was just too good. But yes, I think it starts off with the home. Of course, mine are young, and I hope they're getting some of the things I try to tell them. I hope it's resonating with them and they're able to transition into the, from basically living off your parents, sharpening your tools, to actually being able to be sustainable on your own. But yeah, I don't think we sit down with our families enough. I lived in a pretty dysfunctional house, but every now and then my dad would be like, we're gonna have a family meeting tonight, and as chaotic as the household was, we had that little meeting, and whatever it was, if it was they don't like this and the arguing, and you're going in my room taking my stuff, or whatever it was, that was
I'm glad to hear you say that, because my family had those right today. We have family meetings right to this day.
Right,
so you're right.
And like with my own family, I haven't really sat down with. I know I say it and I think it like, hey, man, we need to have a meeting, just for little things. One of the kids put maybe about 4 ounces in a cup in the garbage can, like dump that out in the trash. I mean, out the sink, and then put, just for little things, just to talk. And you'll be surprised that 30 minutes or an hour goes by so fast. So why not sit down and talk about banking, talk about savings, who saved this, who saved that. My daughter, she was getting a DoorDash, and I was, trying to tell her, like, how much was that? What is this? We got all this food in here, and you're running to the door getting DoorDash.
That's right.
And, I asked her what it was, and she's working now, and she told me that she I put $400 away every check. I mean, she doesn't make that much money, but I was kind of proud of that.
Pretty good, Doc.
That she does that. I didn't know she does that, but I guess that's what she does.
Right.
She puts away, $400 each of her check, and I tell her the importance And like our houses, cost whatever they cost. I mean, my kid, I tell them like, I stay in Washington. It's not as expensive as San Francisco or LA maybe, but it's the kids, like you guys are probably going to need close to $1 million to be able to afford a decent house, especially if you're not living by yourself, or it's not just you and your mate, or if you plan on having kids and things like that. So I just kind of prepare them and get them ready. Patrice gave me some more game about the lower class, the middle class, and I never heard it that way, but the difference between a poor person and a rich person, and like if I were to tell you, it would be that a rich person invests his money and spends what's left over. A poor person spends his money and invests what's left over.
They don't even invest, brother.
Yeah, so I mean, and that's what it is. It's money. I look at money like a like the machine when you're hooked up and they checking your heart. When you flatline, you're done. So if it sits still, you're done. Like your money has to keep moving and fluctuating up and down. It can't just sit. You just can't stick it in your pocket and just let it sit. No. So you're gonna have to find things and be creative. And back in my days and my parents, they weren't telling us about multiple streams of income.
Right.
Nowadays it's like, so the majority of millionaires have 7 streams.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Why did I have to wait till I was 30 to learn that? You see what I'm saying?
Right?
So, I mean, I would have been geared up, at a young age. So the education and, the information is coming around and rapidly. I was kind of blessed to from, let's say 20, on up, I had a decent amount of money. Most people thought I was a financial advisor, so. And then it's like, wow, it's kind of embarrassing. They put you in a position to where it's kind of embarrassing to ask for help because people look at you like you already have the answers. So if it's like these rich guys, they done made it and did whatever they did, they might be just a little embarrassed to say, hey, man, I need help financing. I don't know, what I'm doing, so I don't know if it's a little bit of that going on. And just if you never had anything, you guys pretty much iced it, but
and you gotta take from the people like your Jay-Z's, your Diddy's, your 50 Cent's. They went to people like your Warren Buffett's. You understand what I'm saying? To learn that how to become wealthy and obtain wealth and keep wealth generating. And that's what we need. We need mentors in our communities like that to teach our young boys and girls on how, and with people that are already doing this, that are already financially stable and secure and wealthy, to be able to teach these strategies. Because my wealth advisor that I got is wealthy. Because I'm not going to hire you. And my first question to you is, okay, so what your finances look like? Because if you in financial management for the most part, and you don't have some form of lucrative wealth or something to show me, and this is what you do for a living, I'm questioning in that.
Right.
Because, it's a lot of people that got those licenses that are saying, want to get wealthy, this and this, and that, or the other. So if you're telling me to do it and you're not doing it, and I'm looking at you and you're not in a good place financially, why am I hiring you and you're not there? So when you talk about and I know they're entertainers, but they did not go to nobody that is not already financially stable. You know what I'm saying? To get that knowledge from. And that's the key to what we have to learn how to do is to go to those people that are already financially stable and can lucratively show you that they are in this position because they invest themselves in the things that they tell you to invest in. So that's one of the things I learned. The first question that I learned from what they said is to ask is that financial advisor is, where are you financially? Are you financially secure? I'm questioning that if I'm going to hire you to oversee my finances.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then not only that too, but you know, it would be a very smart thing to do the research. You know, you can investigate some of these organizations or people that you allow to handle your money. You can do research on them. You know, in other words, it's kind of like a vetting process when it comes to it. You know, do some background checks, see what their reputation is in the community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because y'all know we got some of these people in these YouTube streets trying to tell you about financial wealth and what to invest in, but they ain't there themselves. I'm sorry. I'm side-eyeing that.
Well, you know what? Come on now. When we talk about YouTube, please, ladies and gentlemen, do not put your financial monies and all of this stuff. Don't use the YouTube people, please. You know, because listen, there's a lot of
No, I'm not
shysting
going to say
going on.
don't use them, but do your research on them and
Well, I
find
would
out.
definitely say
Yeah, that's all I'm
do your
saying.
research. I would definitely say do your research, but at the same time, you know what? I don't know. I may need something a little more reputable than just because you're on YouTube. So I don't know. That's
Yeah,
just for
that
me.
part. That's
That's
where the
just for me.
research come in. You got to research these people that's telling you, invest in this and put your money in that, and like,
even if
so the.
even if
Hmm.
even if they telling you, yeah, invest in this. Do you? I would say, like you said before, Vaughn, do your research, man, because
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
even
Do
they
your
can make a
research.
mistake, right? Look at Kevin O'Leary, right? He
Dogecoin.
was a mistake. Now he had the FTX debacle, right? They gave him $15 million to go out there, run around out there, telling everybody go invest in FTX, and then here FTX was a scam the whole time, right? But they didn't say anything, right? Here,
Yeah, some of these people
uh,
even use some of these celebrities to scam,
yeah,
people.
that's what I'm saying. So that's why research is very important. Yes, you can take it, but there's nobody you can take the total. Well, put like this: I wouldn't take their total word for it. I would say, okay, this person sounds good. Let me investigate further what they saying, right? If I can't find no holes in it, might be a good thing. But if you start finding holes in it, then you're like, ooh. All right. Let me see it. Let me tell y'all a story. Can I tell y'all a story real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all tell me if y'all will invest. Down there at Eddie Long's church, man. Shout out to Eddie Long. Rest in peace. Um, he had this dude come through there, young brother, man. And he was like I wouldn't say he was a savant, but he was very smart young brother, right? His mom, he wanted to buy video games when he was younger. And his mom was like, we ain't got money for that. Why don't you just make your own? And he said he had never thought about it. Oh, okay, let me just go try and make my own. And he went and made his own video game, right? Rough, little, but he did it, right? Got written up in newspapers and magazines and stuff like that. And anyway, he came when he became an older gentleman. He went to New Life. He went to Eddie Long's church, and he started promoting this. What did he promote? He started promoting this thing where you can invest in this company, but if you listen to the pitch, it wasn't enough shares to make it work. Right? It wasn't going to be enough shares to make it work. The same thing with that's not the story I really. The story I really wanted to tell was it was these two cats. It was these two cats. It was going around the churches, the black churches, and they were saying that they had an investor that had bought all these cars and he just wanted to give them away, right? Bought regular cars and just wanted to give them away, right? So all you had to do was put your money into the system, and if you had your money into the system, you was eligible to get the cars, right? So they kept doing this for 2 years. They kept telling the cars are coming. The cars are coming. the cars are coming. The cars are coming. And they never came. Them dudes raised about $7 million, right? One of the dudes was over in the casino spending that money like water. And the other dude had bought all these different cars his own self. And it was just a mess, man. It was a mess. But my point is, this is why you got to do your research, right? You got to say to yourself, what kind of person is going to buy thousands and thousands of cars at retail price and then give them away? Who's going to do that? Does that make sense, right? That makes no sense. What makes more sense is having a scholarship where they'll help you buy a car, right? As opposed to I'm buying the whole car, I'm taking title to the car, and I got to transfer title to you.
Well, brother Clarence, you know that old saying.
But which one?
If it walked like a duck, talk like a duck, quack like a duck, 9 times out of 10 it's a goddamn duck, right? And if it sounds like a scam, looks like a scam, walk and talk like a scam, 9 times out of 10 it's some kind of scam, right? And we know it's a lot of people that are doing that. These Ponzi schemes. I mean, look at what was his name? Murdoch, Murkoff. What was that dude's name? Bernie Murdoch. I mean, smart, intelligent man. I mean, but look at how he duped celebrities. Madoff. Look how he duped celebrities on down to your average, everyday, hardworking people that work hard their whole life. You know, trusting and believing, because these people talk a good game. They even have paperwork, and it looks so real, you know, but because it's real, because what they doing is the paperwork they showing you is where they done move money into that situation, right? And that's all he did was shuffle money, then show the people, see, look how much you done made. You done made 2.5, you know, just keep on going. See, and then he shuffling money on to the next person. That's how they do with the Ponzi scheme. And unfortunately, if it sounds too good to be true, majority of the time, that's because it ain't true.
Yeah. But the thing about it is, Patrice, they got so many people to go with it. They got so many people to say, oh, wow, I'm going to get a car. All I got to do is give up $2,000, $3,000, and I'm going to get a car. I mean, it don't make no sense. You can get your own car with $3,000, right?
If ain't no hard work in it, it's a scam.
You know what? And even sometimes, even if it's hard work, Doc, sometimes they got these people out here working.
Yeah, because some pyramid schemes was hard work. Look at you bring 3 people in, they bring 3 people. It's hard to get people, bring 3 to 5 people in to gain your team of 25 to 30 people that's going to invest $1,500 a piece, and then they keep going around and around, and they got to bring 3 people, and they got to bring. It's almost like you get a car, you know what I mean? And you look up, and now you got this big pyramid of money, and now it's at the top, and it's in the hand of the last person, which is 9 times out of 10 that team lead person that then got you to work hard to get all of these team up under him, and he runs off with the money.
Yeah. I was at the doctor's office, man, maybe about 6-7 months ago, and this nurse, the dude was telling me about how he was gonna sell insurance and make $1 million. And I said, oh yeah? He said, yeah, you know, like we've all heard of Primerica and maybe I do a show on all of them too.
Yeah, Prime America and all them.
Herbalife and all of that, right? So anyway, he was in one of those different outfits, right? So he was all hyped up over it. Now me, I don't have family members being all hyped up over something like that. And so I already seen the game, right? But the cold part is when after 2 or 3 weeks they see it's not gonna be like that, man. Right? That's the people that make money are the people that's in the beginning. The people that's way down the line, you're not really gonna make no whole bunch of money off of that, right? But so when he first started, he's like, "Yeah, man, I make money doing it." I said, "Okay." I said, "But this is the thing, brother. You got to work hard. It's going to be a lot of hard work. So you got to work hard. Oh, no. It's all you got to do is sign people up. And I said, oh, man. I said, you know what? I know that they tell you that, but you can, I said, you can make money because I got family members that made money doing that, but they had to work hard. It wasn't no just you sitting people down and signing.
Exactly. They work their ass off to get
They
people. It's
had to
hard work
work.
trying to get. Yep.
Right. And so I'm trying to tell him. So he was like, nah. I talked to my team lead, everything. She said, all I got to do is this. And I'm just following her plan. I said, oh, okay. She said that she makes $30,000 a week. I said, oh, okay. All right. So I said, okay. So about a month later, hey, how's it going with the insurance thing? Well, it's not really where I'm in the stocks now. He moved from in the stocks now, right? And I was like, oh, okay. But my point is, I agree with you, Doc. A lot of times, nothing's going to make money unless you have to work hard. And sometimes even if you work hard, it's going to take it's going to take a little longer than you thought, right? But my thing is, why are we accepting the fact that we in our school system, the public school system that we all are paying for, not telling us, giving us a curriculum of money management? Why are we accepting that and then going out into the world and even wondering why all of our people are being broke, right? We're not being taught about retirement. We're not taught about how to live a day-to-day life where we can retire. Not being taught about is this, what they teach us the most about? They teach us we find out about this. There's always some quick money scheme, right? Come do this, Amazon FBA, right? Come do this. Come do, whatever the scheme is at the time, where they say you can come on in and do it and you don't have to do nothing. You can make you some money. And why are we more interested in that instead of, just working hard, saving up some money and trying to figure out how to invest, right? Over the long haul.
Well, the schools they don't want to teach us that, especially if it's
Okay, why
public
not, Doc?
school.
Why not, Doc? Why not?
Because they won't have nobody to run the country. They need people that just program just to work and live paycheck to paycheck.
Agreed.
That honestly, that keeps the economy going.
Agreed.
As long as there's people at the bottom struggling, consuming, living above their means, mismanaging their money, there's going to be somebody profiting off of that.
Agreed.
If I can get you guys to, or not you guys, but and I don't have anything for sale, but if I can get people to go buy something so dumb that you don't need,
the Dr. Hood reverse bass drum beat machine.
Yeah, or anything, But they won't teach you that in school, though. They've never really had those type of classes or just somebody to really tell you about that. It's like 9 to 5. What do you want to do? I remember they had a book, a little small book. They passed it around. I might have been like 4th or 5th grade, and it listed all the professions. Well, probably not all of them. Not nearly all of them, but it was the ones that they wanted us to see. And then there was one that was like professional athlete or something. I picked that, and like the teacher had it's like the whole conversation stopped by them trying to tell me, that was a bad choice. But, that's another story. But there really wasn't those jobs that really will get you over the hump because, there's a lot of people. I stay in Seattle. Okay. So I'm not saying that they don't work, but there's a lot of people getting a ridiculous amount of money for something that we probably would look at like, damn, they don't do nothing, right. And they're probably making $200,000-300,000. And what job is that? You're like, damn, what do they do? What job is that? And it's probably something that you didn't even never heard of.
Right.
Right. Exactly. But how to do all this other stuff, the regular stuff, you know, they want the regular, you know, the majority or whatever to be doing that. You know, that's what they want. Just like the public schools, they got the military coming up to the school all the time. They don't have that at private schools. There's no military recruiting at the private school.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So
Definitely.
it's the pipeline. I mean, it is. And we could say it's propaganda, you know, we could say whatever, but you know, it's true. That's what goes on. They don't want to educate us to tell us to, you know, they taught us how to bank. You know, they taught us how to put our money in the bank for not even a 1% interest. It's like point something, like something ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, like that's not the smart thing to do with your money.
Right,
you know.
right. Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah, that's the first thing I did when I realized I got a hold to a nice little piece of change. It was not keep it in no goddamn savings, because that I ain't gonna never get wealthy doing it that way. No, not saving. You can't get wealthy by and make money by only saving money. You have to invest it in something. You have to purchase something, land or investments or something of some kind that's gonna get you residuals back, so you can have a return on your investment, not just by saving money. And that's the thing I think too. A lot of times we think is, oh, I can save money, and don't get me wrong, saving is good. But if you're saving, save towards to do something with it, not just to save it, because it's just sitting there doing nothing. It's not benefiting you.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Mm-hmm. Why not, Patrice? How come?
It's not benefiting you to just only save it and not do anything with it. Because you're not getting any financial gain from it with the banks, like you said. The interest and all of that on it is not lucrative enough for you to say, woo, if I say this for 20 years, I can come out and I'll be done triple this money, or do what, like it has to be, you have to set a goal for yourself. It just does not make sense to just only save money. And if you are saving money, save money to do something with it to make you more money.
Okay.
Set up some passive income.
Exactly.
On that too.
And let me say this, because when Doctor talked about what I said about the difference between poor, middle class, and rich, we have to get out of the mindset of middle class, because that's where we get stuck a lot, because we're thinking because we're middle class, we are cut above the rest or whatever. But most people that are middle class are in huge amount of debt, which is what that guy, the financial guy, said. He was like, you buying stuff, you over processed in your credit cards, your debt to ratio is extremely high. It's things you really can't afford. That's middle class people, but we love to flaunt the things that we are solely in debt for. And then you got the wealthy that is taking that money that they make and making it make more money for them. It's knowing the difference. And that's what we got to realize. We just, listen, a couple paychecks, middle classes, let some catastrophe happen. You maybe 6 months to a year it with being homeless if a catastrophe happens.
You know what? Middle class is basically the new poverty level.
It's almost obsolete, especially in towns like California and things like middle class. It's almost obsolete. So yeah, and I'm telling you, middle class people are the people that's mostly in the debt, that astronomical debt that they're in, with homes and vehicles and credit cards and things of that nature.
Definitely.
Well, I have a question. And I want Dr. Hood, if he could answer this. It's a question to everyone, but so when it comes to this financial literacy that we spoke about earlier, at what age should we start teaching this to our children? And then the second part of the question is, how much responsibility of this knowledge is on the parent?
Well, for a kid, because there is some responsibility on the kid or the person, because we all know, no matter what household you live in or what your parent teach you or what school you go to, it's all on you. You know what I'm saying? You could pick a person that did bad that came from a great situation. You could pick up somebody that did good from a bad situation. So with that, it's definitely on you as a person, because I can know all the literacy I want, but that's not going to make me successful, right? So, and then I think right away, you teach them kids about money. Oh, that penny on the ground, that dime, see, I walked in the driveway, hey, I'm 35 cents richer. You know what I'm saying? I do stuff like that, and just the importance of, and I think I did a really good job. When I was growing up, the image and the clothes and everything was so important. It was so important that I went to the high school and I had the new Penny Hardaways or the
The
clothes. And,
Jordans.
yeah, so, and that was so important. And I kind of see my kids, like they'll get a new pair, they play basketball, they get a new pair here, there, they wear these ones for basketball. But overall, they're not like these overdressed kids. And I think society today is changing it, I think, in a better way. I mean, we could argue about the skinny jean part, but like how we was doing creased up, and nowadays it's more like jogger sweats and like easier things. You see kids, like the new style of hairdo for black kids is just wake up and don't do it at all. Have you noticed that?
Right.
So,
Yeah. The
so,
nappy
so
look.
they're kind of not focusing on the crap that we were focusing on, and that maybe that can kind of help them out to be able to focus on what's really important and who you really are. Like I had to have that haircut, I had to, all this stuff.
All that whole well-groomed, hygiene on point, clothes on point. Had the latest designer, whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's still a lot of us are still stuck in that mindset. That is true. But
True.
when I look at the difference in, like I said, other races of children that who I know their parents are wealthy, and these are kids that's gonna have the silver spoon passed down to them, from their parents. This is a thing that the cycle that I want us to do, because we're not having anything to leave to our children or our grandchildren for the most part. You work a job 20, 30 years and you can never get wealthy by doing that. You just can't. So if we have to have something else, because the record has shown from time till time that when we retire, we're on a fixed income now, and if you don't have anything extra saved, to supplement that income, you SOL pretty much.
Right,
So
right.
yeah, how many? I know my parent. I watched my dad work, his whole life for a chemical company, and come out of there and they give you that, how they used to do, give you the gold watch and a little severance check, and thank you for your service, and see you later. You don't work hard your whole life, but he didn't have anything saved. You understand? So what do you work so hard for? So don't ever think working is going to get you wealthy, because it's not. If you didn't take any of that money and invest it in something that's going to accumulate you wealth after you retire, accumulate you an income to supplement the income for your retirement, you're going to be in big trouble. And now they talking about Social Security might not even be there by the time my grandkids get grown. It's crazy when you think about that.
Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. So eventually it's going to run out. It's a Ponzi scheme. See, when we were working, we were paying people that was retired. And now the people that's retired, those of us at a retired age now, people that's currently working are going to be paying us, right? But so many jobs are getting shipped overseas, it's not going to stand up. Not going to be able to stand up. Eventually, it's going to grind down. Wow. Now, that's a whole nother conversation. but it's the biggest Ponzi. It's the biggest legal Ponzi scheme out there, right?
Yeah, and that's crazy
Taking
because
money
it
from
comes from the federal government.
right.
And when you work hard, pay taxes into it your whole life, it is crazy that this is the world we living in right now. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, but see, knowing all of this stuff is good to know it because that's the thing, Patrice. You saying don't saving alone ain't gonna do it. Yeah, you should have some savings. You should have some
Mm-hmm.
liquid savings, right?
Mm-hmm.
If something happens, right? You got to get out of town. You got to get out of the country, whatever, right? You got some liquid savings, right? But you should also have some investments, right?
Yep.
Making you money. But what's the reason? See, I'm trying to get down to the nitty gritty. What is the reason that saving money is not going to do it? And the reason is the inflation. The inflation is going to eat up.
Yeah, that too. Absolutely.
It's going to eat it up, right?
Yeah, the dollar ain't worth what it used to be no more, right?
There you go. There you go. So
But
every year,
Brother
inflation.
Clarence, but you would still have to agree that one should learn how to save money. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. We said that definitely. We definitely. Well, it has to start there when you don't have anything. So it has to start with saving. But the goal is not to just save to save. Save to invest in that savings, making you more money down for long haul. Yeah.
You talked about diversifying your portfolio, right? So you want to save some, and then some you want to invest, right? Some you want to invest because you want to save some because you need to have some liquid money just in case something happens, right? You get in an accident or something happens, or you break a window or something. You need some liquid savings.
Right.
But
They said at least, I know my financial advisor said at least 6 months. So if I lost my job or whatever, I can survive for 6 months. And 6 months is a nice enough window for hopefully some miracle to happen, right? Where I could be okay paying my bills and not run out of money.
Well, see, you got that nice, pretty smile and everything. Somebody hire you right away. For the rest of us guys, I would say a year, 2 years at least. Packed away, man, because you might not be able to walk in there with a big old pretty smile. I don't know, Doc. I don't know. I've seen you before, but I don't know if you got a smile like Patrice's, man. So you might be like me and Vaughn, man. You go in there and they be like, nothing.
You know, us men, we out of luck.
Yeah, that's my point. That's my point, Doc. So that's what I'm saying. We would have to probably save more because I would say at least a year, maybe 2 years.
6 months is good, though. I'm not.
Yeah, it is good. The average
that
American
is good.
Have $500 in the bank right now. The average
And
American,
you know what? And also too, sometimes when you pay a thing off, like a car note, which I'm, I think I have maybe about 2 or 3 more payments on my vehicle, and those payments about $418 a month, right? And so, the Lord spoke to me and said, now what I want you to do is put that 418 aside every month.
Still like you paying that car note. Yep.
Still, exactly. The same way that you were paying the car note. You see? So these little type of things like that, just thinking of those type of things, could help us to be a little more financially stable, because a lot of times, that we're done playing with the car, and guess what? Now we have an extra $418.
That part, yeah.
And so now what do we do? We say, well, oh wow, so now that means I can get more of this and more of that and more of that.
Right, I could exactly. Instead of saying, like you said, and my girlfriend, it's so funny you said that, because my girlfriend taught me that 20 years ago. She said, because she was always good with money like that, and she said when she was done paying her car note that she was still paying herself her car note. I was like, what you mean? She said, oh, I still, she said, instead of paying the car note, I just put it away, in a savings, and you'd be surprised at how much you have at the end of the year. She said, and I'm gonna take that, and that's what she did. She took that money and saved it for so many years and bought her house. Now she on 4 houses. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you do. Smart.
You gotta have discipline, man. Whatever you do, you gotta have discipline. You know what I mean?
And and that's the major part of being financially stable, is discipline. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely. Like, and I had to learn this process. I always
Dog.
need to have a certain amount of money in my bank account, you know. And sometimes I've had to tap into it and be like, I'm getting a little close to where I don't want to be. You see what I'm saying? But then I put more back in, and I try to maintain, you know, to have that. What do they call that? What that the
Willpower.
no, the nest or something they call it when you have a money put to the side for a
That's
rainy day.
it.
Nest egg.
Yeah.
That's what I want to say. Nest egg. See,
Yeah.
the nest egg is something that listen, you know, this is something that's not to be touched.
No matter what. Yep.
You see what I'm saying? And so when we learn to practice that, we're better off financially. We don't find ourselves having to borrow money.
Yeah, and especially if you put it in something like a CD where if you take it out, you get a high penalty for it. Like,
okay. So let me just finish my point. Just real
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's okay. But we don't find ourselves in a position to where we have to borrow money all the time. Because what we actually end up doing is borrowing money from ourselves. You see what I'm saying? How smart is that? When you utilize the nest egg thing, you see what I'm saying? To the point to where you know you don't want to bother that money. You know, everything else you do is outside of that money, and you're still making it, you're still progressing, you're still doing all of that. You know, but then there does come a time where you may have to tap into it just a little bit, you see, but you know you got to put that money back.
Right.
And sometimes
you got to really treat it like you really owe somebody else.
Right. And
you got to start having that mindset.
Exactly. And sometimes you have to treat it as such to where you have to make arrangements on how you're going to pay it back to yourself. See, because I took $400 out of it this time, but I don't see me being able to put $400 back in right away. So let me split that up into 2 payments. So when I get paid again, 200 goes back to it. And then when I get paid the next time, 200 goes back to it. Now, this is without touching it, though.
Right. Yeah. That's why I said putting it in something that, you know, you'll get penalized if you go into it. You might think twice about it. Like, ooh, I don't want to pay this high penalty charge. You know, if I take this $1,500 out or whatever, you know, I mean, it's sort of like a 401k. You know how if you take the loan, they penalize you. If you draw money down, they take so much, stuff like that. It's sort of like that. So if you think about it in that sense, you might think twice about it. But it really truly is all about discipline. And we got to have the same discipline that we would have when we borrow money from the bank and we know, you know, they rules and they regulations, and we break our neck to make sure, you know, we stay in good standing with them. So we need to have that same discipline with ourselves.
Yeah, definitely, y'all. All right, y'all. Let's start wrapping up. I think it's a good time. 3 hours. Let's start wrapping up. Let's. What are some things that we could do to improve our financial lot? Right? Like, if you was given a seminar, if you guys were given a seminar on financial, how to be better financially, what would you say? What would you say? Doc, you go first.
One thing that helped me, I don't do it all the time, but my dad taught me to write down every dime you spend. Just write it down, you know. Nowadays they got the phone with the little note app.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as you go in there, like I spend gas or something, you know, just write it down. Even if it's small, for $5. I think if it was like under $5, I didn't put it. But you know, just jotting all that stuff down, it helped me out financially. Now, that's one thing I don't do all the time, like my dad does. But if I feel like I need to step it up a notch, or, you know, like I did it one time, you know, we was about to have closing. I was buying a property. So closing was coming around. I felt like I needed to tighten up and buckle down. Right. So that's what I was doing. And every now and then you'll go through and look at it. And then you spending it is kind of easy. But if you spend it, and you got to write that down.
Yeah.
It makes you think about it a little bit, you know, and you just eventually just stop spending your money on dumb stuff. Like I can't even remember the last time I bought something that was dumb, you know, like I buy laptops and, you know, stuff like that, you know,
Right.
because I know that this laptop I'm on right now with my graphic design, everything I got going on, I'm going to be making money off of this thing for years,
Right.
you know. So just keeping track of what you're spending, you know, I think as a community, I think we should, I mean, nobody should judge anybody, but there's certain things like we were talking about living beyond your means
Right.
that you just don't qualify for. And it's okay.
Right.
You know, it's okay for you not to, you know, where if you live in certain situation that, you know, you shouldn't have the Gucci belt or something like that. That's probably extreme, but you just shouldn't. You shouldn't be out, you know, if you only make 600 a week, or you know, there's no way you should be buying a $400 outfit to go to the club and get a party bus and, you know, all of this stuff. It's just it's that's beyond your means. You're trying to impress people that are not going to be there. And there's a lot of times when you're in your 20s, you feel like you need to impress everybody. But you know, then you find out that when you get in your 30s and 40s, that all those people, they're gone and they don't even care. Half of them don't even remember those times.
Yeah.
So that's just a little something I'll put in the book, but it's a whole list of stuff that we could do to help educate and, you know, raise the awareness about finances.
You're right about that, brother. Appreciate you, Doc. All right, man. I'm gonna pull you down, man. Thank you
All
for
right, boss.
always adding
Salute, Dr. Hood.
coming in.
Yeah,
and
it's good chopping it
bringing
up
that
with
heat
you.
to us.
Always
You
a pleasure,
too.
my brother.
I always
Appreciate
learn
you, brother.
something every time I come over here. Always.
Well, thank
Yeah,
you. We appreciate that.
All right,
it's
y'all.
always
Peace.
good to see you, brother, when you come up. And I just wanted to say that to you.
Now, y'all too. Y'all too.
Doc,
Take care now.
before you go, Doc. Damn, I wanted him to put out his channel.
Oh, he got a channel?
Yeah, Doc's got a channel, man.
Put it in the chat. What's the name of his channel?
I forgot. Man.
What's his
That's
channel?
what I wanted to tell her.
Okay.
I'm subscribed, but I had to go look through it.
Doc, if you in the chat, put the name of your channel in the
chat.
In the chat, yeah, and we can check it out.
Yeah,
I will put up his link.
Oh, okay.
I just have to look for it, but yeah, I'll put it up.
All right, thank you, sir. Excuse me. All right, let's see. Are we going ladies first or gray hair first?
I'll go. I got a little story I want to tell. Okay. When I was younger, I was with this guy that had so much money. This is back in the, I want to say early 90s, early to mid 90s. And I just thought about how when you're young, you don't think about things. And I remember him telling me, I'm going to tell you how easy it was of access of money I had. It was just, and you don't even think when you're young and you got it like that. So I understand the mentality that a lot of these young, like some of these rappers and things like that have, right? There was a safe that was just as tall as me. It's probably about
we got you, Doc.
6 feet tall. And in the safe, in a safe room, it was just goo gobs of money in there. And I did not think like it was just because it was there and it was just not thinking. And I used to just go in there, and I promise y'all, this is a true story. And literally just would just take however much my hands could hold out of the safe. And I mean, it was stuff. And just shop and shop.
I don't believe that, Patrice.
Shop. I, and listen, and not thinking about tomorrow, meaning long term tomorrow. So I get it, and I told my son this story because he was young,
Mhm.
and of course when I look back now in retrospect, I say whatever money that we have so easy access to, whatever it may be, whether you're working for it or you got your business or whatever, always think about the long haul when you're young because you don't think that you got to get old one day. So I say that to say, now that I'm older, I find myself doing a lot of old school stuff. Like I bought this really tall old piggy bank. Every time I break a dollar, I'm putting change in there. That's how this is how nitpicky I am now. Every time I break a dollar, remember that every time you break a dollar thing we do,
Yeah.
and
We got
you
them
put
jugs
the
around the
change
house
in there,
too.
and
Yeah.
I am getting it full, and I take so much of it and I put it in a little coin machine, or I take it to the bank or whatever, and that's how, like, I'm literally doing that now. I would have never done that when I was younger, but as I'm getting older, I'm really seriously thinking about my money now and how I'm spending it. I'm not so frivolous with even with the shopping. I realize I don't have to have those expensive designer shoes. I could be okay with, with a shoe that's not a designer, as long as it's now, for me especially, it's more about comfort than anything than trying to look cute sometimes. Except if I'm on stage performing, that's different. But I just my mindset is just different now. And now that I have, because I feel like I'm at the stage where, I know that this is my last chance to get it right financially for the future of my son and my grandkids. So that's how serious it is for me. So getting a financial advisor to help me with investment. And then I started this little online business, just selling little trinkets, little things that I like. But I want to start multiple streams of income. That is the goal. That is like my short term goal I want to do and build within the next year to two, right? To start another multiple stream income and another one online, because that is the future, because a lot of brick and mortars are closing. Here we got, when you got stores like Macy closing down and stuff like that, like
Yeah.
it's serious out here in these streets, right?
Yeah.
So not investing in a brick and mortar type of business, but on just multiple streams of online business, whatever that looks like. I'm a lady that likes nice things. I think about women are the biggest consumers. So of course you want to target specific consumers. Me as a woman, I know what women like. So just things like that. It has my mindset is so different now. And listening to my financial advisor when he tells me, where should I put this money? Where, and it don't have to always be a lot of money. You could move it there, but keep it there. Let it stay there unless he say move it or do this or do that. Like I'm listening now as to where I wasn't always that way, because when my guy was telling me, and he was telling me back then, he was like, I'm not gonna always be here. You need to take this money and you need to be banking this money. He used to tell me that. So
Yep.
when I have my little nieces and stuff that young and they got these boyfriends or whatever they doing or whatever, I said, look, take that. If he take that money, you better save this money. Let this be your don't touch money. He used to tell me all the time, I'm not going to always be here. You need to be taking this money and saving it for something that, future, blah, 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 blah. And I wasn't listening because I was young. I was like, no, I want it right now. I want to, look good. I want to party. I want to have money in my, listen, I swear to God, I may tell y'all, I may bring my best friend on one day and interview her and let her tell y'all about the real OG Patrice for real. Like, like, and no, and I mean, no, I'm not bragging. I mean, literally how my life used to be. And how, I've learned being older now that I wish I have listened to a lot of things. So when I talk to my nieces about these things, I say, y'all saw where I was and what I had and what I did and all this and that. And they learned some things from me. Yes, don't get me wrong, but there's so many things that I wish I'd have listened to other people and listened and got it right. So now that I'm older, I'm trying to instill that in them. So, just to say that in closing, if you have somebody in your life or your family that's telling you and they literally saying, you can learn from my mistakes, you can learn from things, that I done wrong and now I know to get it right. So you won't be 40, 50 and trying to figure it out when you're 40 and 50. Start figuring it out while you're young because you'll have more longevity and you'll have more to do with your money. Learn to work to make money work for you, not you work for the money. That is the end goal. And I digress.
Man. Patrice, appreciate you. Do we need to talk, or are you gonna go home and cook something to eat?
Yeah, we need to talk.
Yeah, we need to talk because I'm already at home. I've been at home, y'all. I'm chillaxing, just talking to my brothers.
And your mic is on 10, by the way.
And the chat. Is it?
How do you,
This is a
what
new
kind of
mic.
mic do you have? What
This
thing
is
do
a
you
new
have?
mic. It's a new mic. I got the headphones plugged
Oh,
into my phone.
Oh wow,
So,
wow. It is like literally on 20.
oh my God. Okay, I will turn it down. Why y'all tell me that long time ago?
No, because it doesn't come
I'm
off
not
that
like
way
Vaughn.
actually when or during the
I'm
playback.
used to you talking
It's
about.
probably just because I'm listening in my earphones. Do you see what I'm saying, Patrice?
Oh, okay. All
So
right.
yeah, don't worry about it right now. But in the just think about it in the future. But
Yeah,
Okay.
think about it in the future.
yeah, but
Yeah, think
stick
about it in the
around,
future.
please, because
Oh yeah, for sure. Stick around. I got
yeah,
some combo. Yeah.
definitely, yeah.
All right.
Uh-oh. All right, I'm putting you down, Patrice. All right, that's Patrice. All right, y'all. Y'all see. Now I got Patrice waiting, so I can't do a long, drawn out thing. This girl got the nerve to tell me one time, you took a long time. Vaughn
Yeah,
backed her up too. And then
don't
Rico
have her
backed
back
them
there
both
waiting
up.
like that, brother Clarence. Don't do that.
Then Rico backed them both up, right? But what can I do, y'all? I gotta talk, right? All right, that was all right, y'all. Let's let Vaughn get his last words in. Then Vaughn sounds serious this time, so make sure somebody's not in no trouble. All right, brother Vaughn. What's your closing remarks, man? How can we do better with our money, man?
Well, listen, let's do whatever it takes. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's get some type of financial counseling or, you know what I mean? Just do whatever it takes. Be proactive when it comes to your finances. And definitely when it comes to our young people, I think that we need to start them early off with what a dime does and what a nickel does and what a quarter does. And they should learn the value of money early. You see what I'm saying? And as they progress in life, through the different stages, middle school, now they should take on a different task, chores and whatever. And you get this, but there's a whole learning process there,
Right.
But yeah, so one interesting thing that when Dr. Hood was on, and he was talking about write everything down.
Yeah.
And listen, they have books for that where they have ledgers. You know what? You remember those?
Yeah.
I don't think many of us use them now, Brother Clarence, but
Yeah.
you remember those ledgers?
Yeah.
And you can write down your finances and all of that stuff in there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But one thing that has helped me a great deal is basically I don't use cash a lot at all.
Okay.
Because when I use cash, I can't keep track of it.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So a lot of transactions that I do are with my debit card.
Okay.
Now that has helped me to keep track of where my finances went, what it does, and how it's doing, because I'm able to look at my bank app. You see what I'm saying? And I'm able to keep track of what was spent, how much of it was spent, how often it was spent. You know what I'm saying? And I know because I was taught to write it down as well. and a lot of us just ain't gonna write it down. Now, let's be honest. We're not gonna keep books after books after books like that. A lot of stuff is computerized, right?
Right.
But they do have different apps that help you manage your money as well, and they're free.
Oh.
So I mean, that's an avenue as well.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But as long as we are aware of what we're doing and we're moving toward trying to be more financially literate and stable, I think we will have better outcomes. But when we just sit up and just say, hey, the money's coming in and, I just want to make it rain. And you know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? And we just squander our money. The scripture says, a fool and his money shall soon be departed.
Right.
Little tiny verse, but it has a lot of weight to it.
Right.
You see? So, but yeah, that's all I would definitely say. But again, congratulations on the programming that you presented to us earlier in the day. About the no means no, and sexual conduct and everything to our young Black men. I thought that was excellent. And hopefully you can do a part 2, 3, 4, and 5. See what
we
I'm
got
saying?
another one coming on the 11th.
Yeah, and so I really appreciated that, Brother Clarence. But that's pretty much all I have to say.
Thank you, brother.
Nothing greatly profound today.
All right, brother. I appreciate you, man. I'm gonna
all right, bro.
All right.
Yeah, I'll be in the back.
Hold tight. All right, that was Brother Vaughn, y'all. Very encouraging, brother. Appreciate him. It means a lot when he says that, hey, you did a good job. Or Patrice, or Sister Annie, or Risa, any one of you guys. You guys say we did a good job on something, man. That really means a lot. Thank you. Appreciate y'all. Okay, what y'all think about the show? All right. Should we start bringing financial advisors on? Well, here's a financial advisor on just yet. I don't think I have enough people who are looking at it the way I think we need to look at it before I bring those kind of people on. I don't want to waste their time. I think most of us are dealing with problems, just daily putting fires out. And so, but we got to get into this. This is an ugly conversation, y'all. Thank you, Sister Annie. It's an ugly conversation to have. As you can see, whenever we start having conversations real serious, people start jetting out of here, right? But it's a conversation we got to have, because some of us might not have a retirement to fall back on, or have some other stuff, Social Security and anything like that, or whatever, right? And so we got to get busy, either getting some life insurance, getting a 401k. We got to do something, because we don't want to be out here at 70-something years old, having to work to eat. I remember I was working one time with this older brother. What's going on, Brother John? What's going on, man? I got to call you, man, because we had a little mix-up on Saturday, man. I wanted you there. But shout out to the Dominican Root. If you haven't already subscribed, by the way, to the Dominican Root, get on over there and subscribe to the Dominican Root. And if you really want to see some craziness, go on over to Prime Time for the Truth, man. You will see. You want to see a grown man really beside himself, you go and check out Deion Sanders on some of those depositions, man. Are these your words? I don't recall. Shout out to Brother John. Yeah, man. So we gotta figure out how we can do with money, because money and oxygen are two things you're gonna have to deal with for the rest of your life. You're gonna need oxygen. You're gonna need money, right? And if it's not your money, it's gonna be somebody's money, right? Either the government or your own money you're gonna have to use to prolong your life, right? So to live, right? And you don't want to work up to the, let's say for some reason you might live until your mid 80s or your 90s, right? You don't want to be going to work every morning. You're gonna be at Walmart. The lawnmowers over there. The barbecue grills over there. Right? don't want to do that, right? You want to be at home, man. You get to your 60s, 70s. You want to be at home, man. You want to do what you want to do, right? I was working with this dude, man, when I was a security guard. I was going to I was going to Harbor College out here in Wilmington. I was going to Harbor College, and I was a security guard part time, and you know, and so I used to get a lot of overtime because they just had open spots. So they sent me anywhere, all over the place, right? I got a bunch of stories about that too. But anyway, I was working with this old white man. I forgot his name, man. Golly. We were working at this place called what's the name of that place? Anyway, we were working at this place where they made the lenses for the telescopes that you for the satellites that you have going up into space. This place, it was a little offshoot place, and they were contracted by McDonnell Douglas to make these to make the lenses, make the glass that goes on the lenses for these telescopes, these high powered telescopes that's going up in space, right? So the name is right on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, so I was working there with him one day, and so we had other people that worked with us too, right? Shifts interchangeably, and so when he would go on patrol, people would talk about him all the time, and they would say, "Man, look at him, man. He got his dirty shoes, and he's why does he even come here? He's dang near 70, 80 years old. Why is he still coming out here working?" I said, "Man, well, he only works one day a week." I don't know. I asked him. He said, "He only work one day a week." So one day he came around. I asked him. I said, "Hey, man, Mister whatever his name was." I said, "Why do you work? I mean, aren't you 70?" Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Let me bring her up right now. Let me put the link out there. That's for Sister Annie. Sister Annie, if you want to come up, your presence has been requested. But you're not coming up on the stage. You're coming up on the backstage. All right. So anyway, yeah, man. So the old man told me. He said, "Man, I can't work." He said, "I want to work more days a week, but I can't work." He said, "Because they cut my Social Security." And I said, "Oh, okay. Well, that's cool." He said, "Man, yeah." He said, "I got a big old house out here in Gardena." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, man, I got a big old house in Gardena. My wife has a nice brand new car." I said, "So what you coming to work for?" He said, "My wife told me I got to get a job." He said, "My wife told me I got to get a job." Can you see Patrice pushing somebody out of the house? Go, you got to go get you a job, man. You can't just sit around here. Go get you a job. He said, "My wife told me I got to get a job, but I can only work one day a week. Or they're gonna cut my Social Security, and they will do that. They will do that, right?" So, oh man! But here, everybody at the plant thought this dude was like broke as a joke, right? Because he drove this old car. You know what I'm saying? He was an old man, and they thought this dude said, "I'm retired from McDonnell Douglas, man. I'm getting a check every week plus my Social Security." He said, "I can't work 1 second more, or they're gonna dip into all of that." I said, "Shh." He said, "I just working this one day to get out of the house." But see, he already set himself up, right? That was back in the day when the job would take care of you, right? Now we're on our own, brothers and sisters. We're on our own. We have to take care of ourselves. If we don't get the information, we ain't gonna get it, right? Nobody's gonna come up to us and say, at 50 years old, and say, "Hey, have you saved anything? Have you got any retirement? Oh, come on in. I'll help you. I'll help you get that together." That's probably not gonna happen, right? Not in a capitalist situation, right? Right? Same thing. Yeah, that's why it was the same thing with me, Patrice. I sat next to a millionaire. I didn't even know it. I'm working with this dude, and we always have different conversations, but he never talked to me about money. He just said, make sure you take care of your retirement. What about your retirement? He said, make sure you take care of your retirement. That's what he would tell me. I was like, what? I'm 22, 21 years old, man. I don't know. I'm like, what is he talking about? Retirement. That's so far away from my mind, I don't even see it, right? But when I got the job I got now, that's probably the reason why I picked the job is because of the retirement benefits. Didn't pay as much as the other jobs that I got offered, but the retirement benefits were just, you couldn't beat it with a stick. Couldn't beat it with a stick. So I said, oh, okay. Anyway, y'all, we're gonna have to do a show on retirement, man. Let everybody else do the fast money show. We're gonna do the slow money show. Okay. All right, y'all. I gotta get out of here because I got Vaughn and Patrice backstage. Sister Annie, your presence is being requested back there. So I'm gonna see. Well, put it like this, Sister Annie, can you let me know if you can come backstage? If you can't, then I understand. Everybody understands. But I put the link out there so that you can come back if you want, because your presence is being requested back there, right? So I'm not gonna put you on the stage. I'm just gonna put you in the backstage. But anyway, yeah, man. Okay, so let me do the rundown real quick, man. Let me do the rundown while Annie's getting herself together. Let me get the rundown. Let me do the rundown. All right. The chat is where it's at. The chat is where it's at. Man, the chat, you guys always take care of business. We got everything covered, man. We got the front end covered. Sister Annie, Jill, greeting people when they come in. And then of course, we got Risa Neal. We got Risa Neal on the back end. It's like one false move and you gone. But shout out to the way we got it set up, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. We don't have no riffraff. So I appreciate y'all, man. I try to take care of the riffraff up here. And when y'all take care of that riffraff out there, they know not to even come over here. So we don't even have to worry about them. We don't even have to worry about them. Shout out to Reese. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Chat, very strong performance. Very solid as always. Very solid as always, y'all. Very, very solid. Very strong. All right, let's move on to the stage. Who we have on stage today? Let's start with Von Bryant. What y'all think about Von Bryant today? How did Von do today? I thought he was solid, just like he always is. Very solid, very strong, very solid. You know what I mean? And Vaughn is one of those dudes, man, where you want him on your team, man. You know, better friend than the enemy, right? You want him on your team, right? But don't get it twisted, man. If you make Vaughn mad, Vaughn will come after you, man. Vaughn will come after you. He's from Chicago, man. He will come after you, man. Put your hands on you, man. But Vaughn did good today, man. Vaughn did very good today. I was there, very, very pleased with his performance, right? Shout out to Vaughn, man. I'm gonna give Vaughn a strong performance, very solid, as always, as always. What about Dr. Hood? The doc came up here, right? You guys gotta check his channel out, man. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Hood got a good channel. Very intelligent brother, man. I could tell that. Very intelligent brother. But Clarence, he ain't got all these degrees. I don't know if he don't got no. I don't know. He might. Right? I told you one of my good friends. I got pictures and video of us hanging out together, right? Chadwick Boseman, man. One of my good friends. I used to talk to this brother many times. Lots of times. Every week. Every week. And because we were working out together. And we would after the class, we would just sit down and talk for a long time, right? I'm telling you, the brother Chad I knew had a green Honda, one of them old 1990s green Hondas, right? Honda Accord, where 4-door Honda Accord, and no, I think it was 2-door Honda Accord with the driver's side door was red. The whole car was green except for the driver's side door, right? Had no clue he was out here making movies. He never said nothing. Had no clue he had graduated from Harvard. I mean, not Harvard, but Howard. Had no clue. Had no clue. Had no clue. Was always encouraging him. And you know what? He never said anything. You know what he did? He took it and he just said, "Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate you." You know, man. He always took my encouragement. You know what I mean? 'Cause I used to tell him, you know what? This was so funny. I used to tell him, you know what? That acting thing might not work out, man. I might could hook you up, man, with a gig down in the city, man. He was very gracious, man. He always used to say, you know what? Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. If it don't, I'll come looking for you. I said, okay, man, no problem. I said, you know, just letting you know, man. But hey, hope you make it, hope you be successful. And he was, and he did, and he was, right? But we used to talk. We used to talk, man. That brother, oh, he could hit. Oh my God, the dude was strong as an ox. Boom, he hit you. Like, no. One time he hit me so hard, I said, hey, bro. I said, you keep hitting me like this, I'm gonna hit you like that. Oh, no, sorry, Clarence. I said, oh, okay. I said, because you keep hitting me like that, I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna hit you like that too. He said, I don't know my own strength. I said, yeah, I know. I said, yeah, I know. Anyway, shout out to who we were on Vaughn. Right? I was talking. I got off of Vaughn, man, but Vaughn did a strong performance as always. What about did I go through Dr. Hood? Did I do Dr. Hood? Shout out to Dr. Hood, man. Very intelligent brother, man. Very intelligent, man. I like that brother, man. But go check his channel out if you get the chance, right? Are you gonna like it? I don't know, but please give him a shot, man. Give Dr. Hood a shot, man. Good dude, man. Solid, very solid cat. Very strong performance this time. What did you think about his performance this time? Very strong, very solid, as always. Everybody that's up here keep biting on my tongue, keep biting on the side of my tongue, y'all. Sorry about that. Everybody that comes up here is very solid, very strong. Okay, now these what I'm treat y'all today, right? I'm in the store. I used to go in the safe and get millions of dollars. I love making fun of Patrice, man. Patrice is so. Oh man! Shout out to Patrice, man. That is a beautiful sister, man. Beautiful sister. As the rest of y'all, man. Beautiful sister, man. Beautiful sister. All right, y'all. What do y'all think about Patrice? Very solid, very solid. You know, that's one of the things I like about the sisters that come up here. Sister Patrice, Annie, Risa, all of you guys that come up here, Jill. All you guys that come up here, man. The level of the consciousness of the conversation never drops. It's just that feminine twang to it. I love that. I love that, man. Even when they don't agree with me, right? Man, Patrice will run after me with a stick sometimes, right? But yeah, man, she's still listening, Vaughn? I think so, man. I think so. She gonna get me. I'm gonna go see her, man. She's gonna be out here. I may not go to the performance, but I'll definitely be out there. I'm gonna get a picture, at least a picture with the sister. I'll probably have a mask on or something, but definitely I'm gonna take a picture with the sister. Definitely see her. But yeah, man, very solid performance from Patrice. Very strong performance. Everybody did a great job today. Everybody did a great job today. Did the topic at the last minute because I was doing some other administrative stuff. But yeah, man, thank you guys for participating. Appreciate y'all here. All right, we're gonna be back on Thursday. We'll figure it out. And if you guys have any suggestions, shoot them to me. Because this girl Patrice was sent me about 15 different email, text messages on 15 different things, right? So y'all did it, and I got to do some. I just haven't had the chance to research some of them. But y'all do the same. I don't care, man. Everybody just send me whatever. I don't care. I'll look at it at least. If I have some kind of knowledge of it, maybe I might do it that day. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all on Thursday. Peace.